Um, why are you laughing? I'm laughing, but not like. Um, what's up? Hey. So, did y'all like the episode? Like, what are y'all thoughts? I'm looking. I'm reading. I'm looking for all the questions. So here's what I want to say, right? So I think that I always want people to learn and take something from every episode. You know what I'm saying? Like learn and take something from every episode. So here's what I want to say. If you are an aspiring speaker, motivational speaker, you want to be a paid speaker, what I want to say is don't be afraid to ask the tough questions. No matter what room you're in, no matter who you're with, right? Never be afraid to ask the tough questions. So, one of the biggest questions you want to ask when someone is considering you for their services is okay, what's the budget? Do you have a budget? That's huge. That's important for you to know. That's important for you to ask. And a lot of times people are afraid to ask certain things because they feel like, shoot, but if it ain't the way I need it to be, I may miss out on an opportunity. No, forget that. I'm a firm believer that everything that's meant for you, everything that you're supposed to be a part of, everything that you're supposed to be connected to, it's going to align and it's going to work out. And guess what? If it doesn't, if it does not, that just means that doesn't mean that event is a bad event, but it just means it was not the one for you, and that's okay. So you have to get to a point where you don't negotiate yourself, so to speak, right? Where you are in a place where you just going along with things or doing things knowing that you have a budget or I mean you have a fee. So I hope, and I've said this and I'll say it again, I've tweeted it. I said it on the show. I think the expo is a great idea. I think it's a great idea. I can't wait for you guys to see it play out. There is still more leading up to the expo, but I can't wait for you guys to see the expo play out. And it's a great idea. Nothing wrong with at all, I feel, for what it is that they are doing and wanting to do. I think it's great. But also it's okay too for people to have a fee. So what I hope you guys take from tonight's episode is not ever being afraid, y'all, to ask the tough questions. Don't be afraid to ask the tough questions. Don't be afraid whether that's you having a product, whether that is you having a business and you're looking to expand it, and you need to talk numbers. Don't be afraid to talk numbers. Don't feel like you're going to miss out on an opportunity because you're bringing up numbers, because let me tell you what, I guarantee you those people are in rooms bringing up numbers for themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're sitting in a room, and I'm past the show tonight, I hope y'all get that, like outside of the show, if you're sitting in a room with a group of people, trust me, those people ain't gonna be afraid to ask for the numbers when they're with people doing things or people who are in higher positions than them who can pay them. They're gonna ask about numbers. So it's okay. Nothing wrong with you doing that. And that's what I hope y'all take from it is know your worth, know your value, be okay with asking the tough questions. Be okay with asking the tough questions. Be okay with it. Do you have a budget? Do you have a budget? What is the budget? Be okay with asking that. Okay. We're all here to be used, not misused. Exactly. You can ask the right questions. Don't be afraid to have those conversations. Facts. Don't be afraid to have those conversations. Like we've all been in situations, and I have too. We've all been in situations where, it was like, should I say something? Should I ask that? I don't want to turn anybody off. I don't want to make them feel some kind of way. No, ask your questions that matter to you. Okay? Ask your questions that matter. So, what you want to say? Child, Justice, ain't nobody about to play with you. What do you want, Justice?
So how do you overcome that fear of like not talking numbers? Like, cause I feel like for me, I definitely be like in that situation.
Mhm.
Because I fear like the rejection that man has and like on the other side.
Come on, girl. Let me tell you something. This is how I feel about that. Now, Justice asked the question, but I'm gonna go ahead and preach to everybody. Okay. Let me go. Somebody said, "Come on, Mel, through with the edges." Yes, honey, I have edges, baby. Even in the braids, y'all can see them edges. Hey, but listen to this right. I'm sorry, that's not. No, see, y'all leave me alone. I'm trying to be on point. God dang. So, to Justice's question, wait, you said that you be afraid to ask the question for it because you might get rejected.
Right.
Let me tell you, see, that goes back to what I was saying a minute ago. Okay. If you're rejected, that just means that wasn't the gig for you. That just means that wasn't the contract for you. If you're talking about a contract, you know what I'm saying? It's okay to be on some like, well, thank you for considering me. Unfortunately, you know, it's not going to work this time, maybe next year. Maybe. It's okay to say that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would tell anybody though, before you negotiate yourself into a place where you're not going to be happy about it, just decline. Just decline. And it's okay. And y'all missed some of that tonight because y'all know we only got a few minutes for each episode. But I did say that, you know, a few times, like even when it was like, oh, okay, we're not going to be, it's okay. It's no big deal. Like there are business deals that don't work out with me all the time. There are business deals that don't work out for me all the time where the budget ain't there, and that's okay. And then there are deals that work out very well and the budget's there, and that's what it is. So you just have to just get in a place and get to a point where you don't allow your fear of rejection to cause you to miss out on your dollars. Because guess what? You doing something in a price that don't work for you could cause you to miss out on the gig that's waiting on you that will pay you what you want to be paid. But you over here holding on to this little money when God's trying to bless you with the big money. So let me tell you something. Okay, so I'm not going to get started. I'm not going to start preaching tonight, honey. You gonna clap? We're gonna take up an offering. Go on and you know what? I don't ever even encourage this. Go on and buy them badges because y'all know I'm preaching tonight. However you buy a badge on Instagram. However you.
No, you talking real good for real.
No, but it's the truth. It is the truth.
Okay, y'all. All right. We got to talk. We got to get to it because I know that other things is happening on YouTube. So I want to make sure that I get my group off. So if you can hear me in the chat, which it looks like you can, go ahead and sound off with your city, state, or city and state. Let me know what is going on over there so I can say hello to all of my people. Let's see, 494 of you are watching. Only 195 of you have hit the like button. So if you could hit those likes, I appreciate it. Thank you to all of my mods. Thank you to all of my members. I see you guys. Anyone with a little star behind their name, the blue stars, the yellow stars, the green stars, those are all channel members. I see Chicago, Pittsburgh, Chicago, Alabama, Houston. Thank you guys for showing up for me today. I see Oxford, North Carolina, Charlotte, North Carolina. H-Town is in the house. Okay. Let's see, Fort Pierce, Florida, New Jersey, Louisiana, New York, Atlanta, Dallas. Okay. The Bronx, Oklahoma City. I see I see Ohio's in the house. She said Diana in Ohio. Hey, how are you? I'm in Ohio. I'm in actually in Atlanta myself. Let's see. New Orleans, Memphis, Tennessee, Maryland, Huntsville, Alabama. Hey, Maryland, Mississippi. Okay, you guys. Thank you so much, Miss Finesse, for blessing the channel. I appreciate you with the super sticker. Thank you so much. Okay, y'all, listen. We are about to get started. I want to know how many of you actually watched the show tonight before we actually get started. Okay, y'all like my hat? I saw some of you mentioning it. This is like a purple band, but it is a green hat, like a dark jade color green. Let's see. Thank you, Mary Kelly, for blessing the channel. I appreciate you so much. Right now, I have the membership pinned in the chat, but I am about to take that down and put up the link to come up if you guys get a chance. But first I want to go through everything. So I said I wanted to see if you guys actually watched the show. If you watched the show, put a 1 in the chat. I'm getting myself confused over here. I want to see who watched the show before we get started. I see some people saying they did not watch. Crystal said she did not. Sharon said that she did, though. Okay. So I wanted to have some conversation. Oh, a lot of ones. That's good. Okay, a lot of ones. A lot of you have watched the show. Pretty Brown Eyes watched the show. Angel, Michelle B, Miss K, Evelyn. Okay, so a lot of you have watched the show, which is great, because I want to have some conversations that we can keep on point. Number one, we're going to talk about the show along with some other things. Y'all know that Melody live tweeted tonight. And then, of course, she went live, trying to, again, keep the show light. And, it sounds to me like she is, in regards to all of them, trying to take some of the bad energy offline and bring it back, bring some good energy to the show. Because I know a lot of you have been paying attention to some of the things that's going online. We all have. I talk about it too. Some of the things we put online, it's not on the show. It's not showing on the show. I attempt to put everything, like tie things back to the show, because I know that it feels heavy. I know it feels heavy. Thank you, Miss Tasha Rains. She said, be kind. Please be kind and hit if you haven't already. I saw Tasha, and I also see, let me say hi to all my mods first. I thought I saw Tanga J in here. And where is MN? Why haven't I seen you? MN is always showing up for me, and tonight I don't see her. However, this chat is flying though. Let's see if we can get it slowed down. Okay. Hey, how are you? Jennifer White. She is blessing the channel. I appreciate you so much. So I want to keep it on track, and that way we can have really good conversation. We can laugh a little bit, and it doesn't feel as heavy for us as it, as it has. Oh, she said, hey, child. MN said, hey, child. Hey, girl. Thank you for showing up for me today. Okay. And again, thank you to all my mods. When I see your name come up, I will call you out if I have not already. Okay. Anyway. So I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about that. I also have some other things that I wanted to discuss. I came on and I said, I wanted to show you guys something that was going on with the business end of it. Let me see. Let's start with Melody. We're going to start from the back end of the show. Y'all know they had that last group, the business meeting. The original 6 all came together. They sat down with Tisha and Marceau. This was Tisha's meeting. Tisha had that life-size cutout of her and Marceau at the front of the room. And Kimmy was like, is this meeting for all of us? Are you asking us to participate in it? Or is this about y'all? And you're just giving us tasks to do. And they had no idea what they wanted any of them to do. They just, they just wanted to hold the meeting to see who showed up, I guess. It was really crazy. Thank you, Monique, for blessing the channel. I appreciate you so much. But anyway, Kimmy was asking all of the hard questions, right? Like, okay, is there a spot? Let's say there is a sponsorship and you guys get $100,000. Is that just you? Is that your 100,000 or does it belong to the group? What are you asking of us? And Melody was actually the one who was being a little more reserved. She asked some questions like, is there a fee? And she should have. But if y'all paid attention to Marceau, he said, I was hoping that all of us could just advertise it through post on our IG. Now let's take a look at the IG followers. Y'all see it right there? Melody has over 500,000 followers, right? The next largest group is Martell with 334,000. And some of them might be bought because y'all remember, I told y'all that he was buying followers at one point, and then he ended up kicking them off of his page. Marceau only has 100,000, 109,000. Tisha has 166. Those are not as high as 500,000, over 500,000. Miami Reese and Kimmy is the next highest one following Martell. Okay, so it is Melody, Martell, then Kimmy, then Tisha. Now, I brought that up because, again, if they were supposed to advertise this through posts, and Melody asked the question, are you paying for the post? And they was like, nah, child, listen, we might not have enough money for you, period. I just thought that was interesting. But y'all let me know what y'all think, because y'all remember when Marceau was trying to get his wine together, the champagne in a bottle, he went to Melody and asked if she could be an ambassador for him because he wanted her to advertise it on her channel. So that is why I wanted to bring that up to you guys. I just thought that that was interesting. Even though she is currently saying that she does support, she's saying that she does support the Black Business Expo. That's what she just said in her live, and that she was hoping to see it move forward. So I want to know from you guys what y'all think about all of it. And you saw her face when Martell said, ask her how much does she charge for a post. And she said, none of your damn business. It's none of your business how much I charge for a post. And this is clearly when Martell and Melody were in the thick of things. Not to say that they still aren't, but they were in the thick of things, because when Melody walked into the room with that gold dress on, Martell could barely look at her. Like he literally was just bundled up tight. And then when Tisha went over and said, where you going after this? Looking all good. She was like, I'm just happy, child. I'm just happy. Basically letting him know, I'm not thinking or concerned about you. Okay. I love that scene. All right. So let's talk about the first scene. Let me make sure I got everything else off before we get there. Let's talk a little bit about her tweets too. Did y'all see the first tweet? This first tweet that Melody had came out and said, man, y'all better quit letting these folks embarrass y'all on this here TV, ladies. You deserve better. Do y'all know who that was, who she was tweeting that out to? Put it in the chat if you know who she was tweeting that out to. This was the scene where Martell, Marceau, and Maurice were chit-chatting. No Lewis. I thought he said Lewis was coming, but it looks like he must have got stuck or somewhere. But he had asked for them to come out. Melody tweeted that out right during that scene. And did y'all remember what Marcel said in the scene? It was a bunch of fakery, clearly, but he had made the comment, I've lost my favor. I've lost my favor since Melody and I divorced for the last couple of years. And right now it feels like I'm just now starting to get it back. Did y'all hear that mess? Sheree, yep. When Martell was talking about a woman that he ain't even claiming, Melody had made the tweet, y'all better be careful about letting these men play with y'all. She sure did. Hold on, let me put it back up. Y'all better quit letting these folks embarrass y'all, is what she said on TV. Ladies, you deserve better. Now, I don't know if she was that may not have been a subliminal all the way to Sheree. Maybe she was just asking people in general, don't let people play with y'all the way we saw Martell play with them. Okay. Ty said, didn't watch the episode either, but found out the Scott storyline is fake and I can't deal. Ty, I want to talk to you about that, girl. Yes. I want to talk to you guys about that now. I know everybody is saying that her storyline is fake. We've been saying it since the day we saw it, right? Since the day we saw her address Martell at Black, sitting across from him, talking about the only way you can come back is if you do X, Y, and Z. No talking about me, no talking about my marriage. And then all of the craziness that he let her speak over Miss Vanessa. We saw that. We saw through that. Let's put it that way, okay? We saw through that for sure. And we were questioning it then, and it all came out. So yes, ma'am, for sure. What else was tweeted out there? Let's see. At the very beginning, I forgot to give you guys the first scene. It picked up where it left off, right? With Kiki addressing the clan, Stormy, and who is the other one, Tiffany, and basically saying, look, I don't even know why you guys are in it. This is me and my cousin's relationship. We know each other. We've been, in this for a very long time. Y'all don't have anything to do with it. And then for whatever reason, Stormy starts like putting a whole lot of energy into it when she didn't have to, saying, if you didn't like what I said, all you had to do was tell me to shut the F up. And she was like, yeah, then do that. That's what I would do. Just hush. Why didn't you tell me then, girl? It don't matter. I'm telling you now. Then Melody walking out of the scene and saying, listen, not today, not tomorrow, not next week. I'm gone. I'm leaving. Then she came back in and tried to have a conversation like, y'all need to cut that out. And then they kept at it. It was crazy. We'll talk about that. I want to make sure that, again, you guys want to talk about that stuff. What else happened? What else happened? We talked a little bit about Martell and the boys. Marceau and Gino. Y'all let me know what y'all think about Marceau and Gino. Did y'all like that scene at all? Gino basically telling him that if anything happened to you, your wife would not know how to take care of herself because you are keeping her out of your business. He even said that Marceau, he told Marceau that they were in the dating phase. However, if he treated him the way he treated Tisha, he said they weren't going to make it. Now that was hilarious. That was a hilarious comment to me. What else did they talk about? Tisha and Kimmy, the meeting. Tisha, Kimmy, and Melody coming together and basically just squashing the beef. But you could see that Tisha's energy was still really raw. Still raw, didn't want to hug Melody at the end, and Melody made her hug her. I wanted to talk to you guys about that. Marceau having a conversation with Tisha about being a protector. Those pretty much, that's pretty much the show, right? That's pretty much the show. Let me see what else do I have for you guys in regards to the comments. Melody said, I expressed before I left the spa that as a Black businesswoman, let's do better with how we handle conflict. Everything can't make the cut though. But I was really looking forward just to having a fun day at the spot and just relaxing. That's all. So when Melody had her speech, and I think it was Stormy who was like, no, we good. This is how we handle things. We'll get it resolved this way. And Melody was just like, well, okay, I'm gonna let y'all have it. It's not for me. Then she also made the comment that one of the main things is that she wants to disagree and be respectful. That's what she's asking for this season. Disagree, but be respectful. Everyone has triggers, but we're just going to sit back and let people do whatever. But we're not going to sit back and let people say whatever. So to prevent future blowups, we need to be respectful. And since everybody is still in a very prickly, sensitive stage, she's absolutely right. Melody also said that her overall goal and idea for this season is growth, and that she thinks that they all can do better. So y'all know that they're going to resume filming in a couple of days, probably. And then looked like LeBaric is providing food for the show, you guys. She actually thanked LeBaric for providing the chicken salad and crackers. She said it was good, but she said she said his name during the scene, and she said they must have left it on the editing room floor. So, and then she also said that tone does play a role in how people get along. So, that's a lot, you guys. I hope that I cover everything. This chat is moving way too fast on this side. Let me see if I can. Okay. I'm hoping that I slowed the chat down. I'm not sure if I did or not, but maybe. Okay, can you guys still see me? Let me know in the chat because I cannot see. I actually attempted to put the link up so you guys can Okay, sorry about that. I'm looking at one screen and it is moving really fast. I'm looking at another and it's not. But I see Miss Anonymous is up here. So let's bring her on up.
Hello. I thought you had pink and green in the hat. I was getting excited for my sorority sister.
Yes.
It's beautiful. It is beautiful. You're always stunning. So I was like, I call you the Bulls.
Oh, thank you so much, Miss Anonymous. Hey, pretty brown eyes.
Hi.
Hi, girl. Okay,
How are you?
y'all. Now, what do y'all think? So these are our topics today. The show, of course. Anything that you guys want to talk about in regards to all these new documents and things that's been coming out with the court case, whether or not it's resolved or not, we will see. Anonymous, you would know. I'm glad you're up here.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to make sure I came up, because I know people who have said they're lawyers or have Juris Doctorates, and they might not actually practice law in family law.
Mm-hmm.
I do experience practicing family law in my jurisdiction. I won't tell that, but I can give a general overview of what usually to expect and what usually happens. So to help get out the confusion of why things are happening. So if you had any questions, just want to let you know.
Okay, so the couple of questions that I want to ask you. So first of all, guys, I'm gonna post this up here just so everybody can see it. I talked about this in one of my videos recently, that this was posted by Melody's cousin, saying that she is very happy that the custody agreement remains the same and no child support was ordered. We are also extremely happy this part is over. Okay. And for a lot of people, it suggested that there was more to come, or Melody was maybe still fighting. People were kind of curious, like we saw some questions that looked like it was listed by Martel's lawyer, or that's what it was saying. We did not receive any questions that Melody's lawyer would have submitted. And so I guess people are thinking that Melody still has a court case coming. One of the questions I had was, when we have two people basically fighting the same battle in court, do those trials run concurrent? Are they, happening at the same time?
They can. Just explain, usually what's going to happen, again, if I'm thinking based on what you content creators have said, because again, it's probably under seal or gag order.
Mm-hmm.
Usually these, just to let you guys know for the public, family law matters are usually confidential.
Mm-hmm.
And because you're dealing with minor children.
Correct.
And so really, technically, neither the parties or the lawyers or personnel are supposed to reveal anything, especially if it's pending, and even if it's not pending, because you're dealing with the children. So that, now sometimes I think people, because you're dealing with public officials or people who are in the public eye, they kind of blur those lines, but general rule, you're not supposed to, because of the children. So now what probably happened, if what I'm hearing, what they have, at least in terms of what I know as my own experience, is Martel Holder, I call him Hotel, filed his petition first, which would be considered a motion to modify the judgment, the divorce judgment, as relates to child custody.
Okay.
So what he was asking was to get full custody of the children, and probably modify, instead of having no child support, which was the original judgment, to have Melody have to pay him child support.
Okay.
Okay. So that's the initial.
There were some things that happened on one channel where they gave just bits and pieces. And then there was some things that was released on another channel where they received this, they got the same documents. And this time other things were added that made it seem like it was a little more recent. Like they talked about denial of the cell phones, that the cell phones weren't allowed to be brought back to Melody's home. And we all know that that happened in December. Like that was for Christmas gift, that he said he made a big deal out of it on social media, right? And so a lot of the conversations that was in, that people have been talking about, it's all been released already. These are all things that has come out at one time or another between, I don't know, February or March of 2022, all the way through December of 2022. And so I didn't know if all of that stuff was just still an ongoing, part of the judge.
It can depend. And this is why I say a lot of us don't know, because usually, just to let you know, with these family law actions, you can have motions be done by either party to request certain things, and the court or the judge can rule in either party's favor.
Okay.
So, but what I think has been circulating from what I've heard is there could be a lot of things going on. One, I think there's a period of time that Martel did not have counsel, but he represented himself pro se. Okay. So as a pro se litigant, which means you as the party can represent even though you don't have counsel, you are permitted to ask discovery requests to the other party, which they still are supposed to honor. Usually, I think on Alabama courts, I know on my jurisdiction, we have court forms that allow people to fill it out, or if they have it, and file it on their own, for the other party, and usually have 30 days to respond. So if what happened, the counsel might not have done it, but Martel, if he didn't have an attorney representing him while this was happening, because I think he went through a couple of them, he might have made a request for discovery.
Okay.
So if he released that, even though he shouldn't have done it, that was probably his request of what he wanted.
Okay.
So, yeah. So,
Oh.
so what happens is, like, anybody can ask, but if he had counsel and they were doing it, usually the counsel is required by law to know what the federal rules are, the state rules, as well as the local rules of what you can ask and not ask. So, like, for example, you typically won't be able to ask for a person's password because that is protected by federal law as well as state law.
So let me ask you this question.
Mm-hmm.
Those passwords are protected. What would be his reason? What would be the reason for a lawyer to ask that question or ask for that information?
Well, a lawyer really shouldn't ask because they're held. This is the thing. That's why I don't think the lawyer asked.
Oh, okay.
They're held to a higher level of professional responsibility. Like, even though your client, which let's give example, Martell wanted to ask. If you're an ethical attorney, now not every attorney is ethical, you have a duty to tell them you can't ask for this because that person then can ask for your bank accounts and other things. You're not married. It's a little different. You're still divorced, like you're single now. So he doesn't have any legal right to it. Now, I think, like, if I was putting myself in Martell's hands or head in terms of what he wants to get, he's trying to control every move she makes. So he might just ask it, but what she would have along with her counsel is a right to object to that request.
Okay.
And that's the difference, where even though he asked for it, a competent attorney or even she could say, I object because this is prohibited under federal law. Okay. And that's how you do it as a response.
So my next question to you is, because of that, now the questions that we saw, it upset a lot of people. We know, the reasons why, but do you think that those questions were mild considering what would have really happened in that courtroom between both parties?
Honestly, because I've done family law a lot and I do discovery. I have a couple of cases I'm doing right now.
Okay.
The goal, you have to ask when you're doing discovery, what is the goal? If all he's looking for is to find out what her monthly income is, to properly calculate what child support he has, that's all he's able to really get. It's kind of limited in scope. See, the stuff he's asking, those questions from what I looked at, from what the content creator stated, is like what he should have asked during a divorce. That's a little different. The divorce matter is where you're asking what's going on with the bank, how much you're making money, you name it. But see, that situation has been resolved. So the only issue you're really dealing with now is you want child custody. You want to get child support. So
you can come back and I was going to say you can come back and ask for those things, and that's what you think that was regarding.
Yeah, he probably mixed what he wanted to do in the divorce case and the child custody case, but he forgot should ask for that in the divorce case because that was really the venue. Like, if he wanted to find out what was going on, that was the proper venue because they were married. It's a little different. It's a little bit more marital property.
Okay. We have 992 of you in the chat or watching. Go ahead and hit the like button on your way in, please. The likes are really low, and Miss Anonymous is up here giving us all this good information. So go ahead and hit the like button, you guys. I appreciate y'all. Okay, sorry about that.
No, we have to get you that. This is good tea, so you're at least getting it from a person who is a lawyer and have family law experience. Oh.
Facts. Okay, so go ahead. I was just saying, so we know that he was seeking money because cousin Jamila already said no child support, and it is to remain the same for now, right? And for whatever reason, I don't know how this information was released. I'm looking at the chat and someone is saying, listen, I guess the other lawyers was saying that this is open, that we can just go and look at this information. Is it possible that Melody or Martell would have agreed to this? Can you agree to this? Is there?
Not really,
Nope.
because usually the court, this is the thing.
This is the court's ruling. It has nothing to do with.
It's a local court rule where you're not supposed to reveal this information. Now, I did explain this, I think, on the Silva's Live and some others a day ago.
Okay.
What you, I want to explain the process of discovery.
Okay.
What usually happens is each party, whether it be the mother or the father, in my jurisdiction, they call it petitioner or respondent. It's not plaintiff or defendant. It's a petitioner or respondent, can request discovery. It's a broad standard, but it's one that has to be what the court would decide in the case. So the reason why I was saying a divorce and what you're looking at when you're married is very different than when you're modifying a judgment as it relates to child custody and child support. It's limited in scope.
Okay.
So questions that would be asked that usually an attorney or the client would ask the other party is how much monthly income you make. So you would get bank statements to show what is her personal income. He's not going to get the business unless he might know something where it's done there. But usually what she did with the divorce is she dissolved all the businesses that they had jointly. So when they got divorced, she's single now. So that's not marital at all.
That's not marital at all.
So so he doesn't have access to her business account. She probably, which I would do if I'm also a CPA as well. I would have her get paid a salary. So the business makes the money, business can do the expenses, but she would monthly get in her personal account a salary that she reports on her personal tax returns. So that's basically what she would get. So I think that's the thing that Martell didn't understand. When the divorce happened and she dissolved the businesses and did the Chapter 7 bankruptcy, he's not going to get access to her business. That's over. He only will get what she has as an individual for the determination of child support.
Okay. Okay. Everything you're saying is making sense. So is it possible that Martell or a clerk or someone may have released some of this information? Because information about the kids not being allowed on social media or TV anymore, things like that. All of the craziness around the cell phones, for that to have been in paperwork and someone's reading it off, even though, again, this is all stuff that both Melody and Martell have shared. I want to thank Mary Kelly for becoming a new member. Melody and Martell have shared this either on their own social media platforms or on the show. It was literally since fourth season open, we've been hearing these conversations. So what's going on in their lives, I mean, even though we're not getting everything, it is tying in with what we're actually seeing in the show. Like even right now, Melody walking into a room where Martell is sitting and Martell cringing at the sight of her, like, oh, we're not in a good place. And, even though Melody said hello to him, all of those things, he couldn't get the words out of his mouth.
Now, you know why?
Why
it comes from that. I think, in my opinion, allegedly, it comes from the previous episode with his mother, with the mediation.
Okay.
He had his fit or temper tantrum.
Okay.
If what the reports are saying it's true, by throwing the chair allegedly at his lawyer, that he didn't get the mediation that he wanted.
Well, that would have happened months ago, right?
Correct.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is, it could have happened that way, but this is what I think might be happening. I think he filed his action, and again, this is in my opinion, allegedly.
Okay.
She filed a counter petition to also modify the judgment to get sole custody, and also brought up some issues regarding his mental health issues.
Okay.
Okay. Because as I was telling you before, I believe he has the 10 traits of someone who has the narcissistic sociopath, where it's dangerous, and you could see with some of the things. So even though everybody's like, well, her as Melody might be impacted, but the children can be impacted, as what was seen during Christmas or New Year's, where they were at the pond in the cold in Huntsville. That was it registered that something was wrong. So that's why I say, I think what might be happening is, if the court ruled, they ruled only on his petition
Mm-hmm.
and denied it.
Mm-hmm.
But what people don't realize is I think the matter might still be open, but it relates to his issue. It's ended. But the original divorce judgment is still in effect, or at least what they had, because it hasn't been overturned yet. Now, what I've heard from the content creators and reports, and it probably is true, he has to have the mandatory psychological evaluation. Now, what people don't realize is just because the family law might not do the order, there could be a civil ex parte order of protection where you have to get it as well.
Okay.
So that might also be at play here too.
Just to clarify, is that you, Mr. Anonymous? Just to clarify as well, I think on Wednesday, Melody had went live and her manager had asked, where are the babies? And she said, with their father. So just an FYI, that conversation did happen. Was it on Wednesday or Thursday? I'm not for sure. I'm mixing up all my days. I feel like it was Wednesday evening though. So I just wanted to say that. But outside of that, we know that there's been a lot of conversation that has been had online. Simply Beautiful communicated. It was Thursday. Thank you so much for correcting me. So Thursday in the later part of the day, I think maybe 5, 6 o'clock, that conversation was had. And she just said with their father, nothing else was said. And she has been moving on about her day, enjoying her life. She appeared to be very happy and fine. And she has been for the last couple, since she started the press tour, her energy has been really great, in my opinion. I also believe that she is of the mind right now that she has gone through. She's fought a really heavy battle with a person that she is right now working with. And if she can work with him and she's gotten through that battle, everybody else in that show means absolutely nothing. I'm going to come in, I'm going to say hi, I'm going to say bye, I'm going to do whatever lines I need to do here, and I'm gone. I don't have anything personal against y'all, and I'm not taking anything personal from you away from this meeting because you don't mean anything to me anymore. Do you know what I'm saying? Like I can't.
Yeah. This is business. She's treating them like coworkers. This is not anything else.
I've already done that. I've done that. And if you guys missed my video from earlier today, please watch it because I went back and I read a post that she had made where she said, I fought one of the toughest battles in my life for people that I love the most. And I didn't even think I didn't think I could get through it. That's how she put it. I didn't even believe I could do it. And I did it. And now that I've done it, nothing else can stop me. Nothing else can break me. So go back and listen to that if you guys haven't already. Okay. Miss Anonymous, you have been a wealth of information. I appreciate you so much.
You are welcome, the boss.
Is there anything else that you wanted to share about the show?
Yeah, I loved how Melody looked. She looked great.
Yes.
I like the fact that when they were deciding to make it ratchet, she went to peace and left.
Okay.
Because
Sure.
from what she's going through with that child custody action, she can't be in the midst of that while that was happening. She was smart enough to basically leave the atmosphere because sometimes I think people that work for him or friends with him, they want her to get in a bad place for bad things. And she was smart to understand that it was time to get out. So.
For sure. I have 1,151 of you watching and 733 likes. If I can get you guys to get me up to at least 1,000, please. And thank you. I appreciate you guys. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay. Anything else that you thought was great? She does look amazing. I agree with you 100%.
Well, I don't know if everybody else, I see somebody in the private chat asking me for a question. So I don't know if they fit still, but.
Okay. Whoever's in the private chat, I see them. So I got a couple of you back here. Go ahead and ask your question of Anonymous in the chat and I'll bring it up if it looks like something that we can share. Let's see who else is up here. I have Pretty Brown Eyes. What do you have to say, Miss Pretty Brown Eyes?
Well, good evening, and you look beautiful as usual. Love your hat, and I like your hair. I almost thought that you had straightened hair, but that's neat how you
it's my braid.
Your
I
braids,
mixed
right?
together. Yep.
I was looking at that. I was like, dang, I've never seen that before. Um,
You.
as far as the show, I'm only watching for Mel
Mm-hmm.
because it's just like y'all are really, really, or Carlos allegedly is really trying to force this repurposed comeback group on us. They're
Mm-hmm.
trying to recreate the nostalgia of the initial first season when it was original, it was organic. But now that we've peeled back all the layers of the onion and see that most of it was fake, except for Mel, it's like looking at it. It's just like looking at a cartoon. It's so fake to me.
So, what do you feel about all of the petitions that had gone out saying we want you guys to go back to the business part?
Well,
Do you
well,
feel like that they're trying to answer some of the fans for the show? I know that a lot of people, personally, I would rather see, this is for me personally. I know
okay.
everybody feels different. Personally, I'm okay with seeing people's real life as much as they can bring it to the show. I feel like what Melody has done has changed television, reality for the most part. I think that bringing her story to the show, even though it has been tough, and even though some we're seeing her smile, I don't think every moment can be smiley. I get that, but I do believe that she is helping more people than hurting with her story,
Mhm.
because when women go through things like that, people don't believe them. People don't believe them. People in your closest circle could try to keep you in that situation. And I don't think that you get a chance to see yourself in the way that Melody is getting a chance to see herself. Like, oh, I see how these pieces are moving, and now I know where I stand. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I agree totally. And I heard another content creator uh said like surviving Martell.
Right.
and it's
Surviving
basically just
surviving your
watching,
friends.
right, just watching the show is basically the documentary. It has, for the women that are not believed when this is happening, and if it weren't for the show, you know maybe Melody would have still been going through it because nobody tends to
Sure.
believe the women because he's
Because
such a
you
charismatic
don't realize how bad it is.
liar, right? So, with that being said, I have no problem with them trying to go back to the business part of it, but for it to work, because so much has happened with that core six and
Mhm.
so much dirt has been dug, maybe they would need to keep her as the nucleus of it, but recast with some of those other cast members that they tried out and that didn't make it. Maybe get the brand new fresh couples. Give the Fletchers a chance to be more in the forefront. But that old comeback group is it's a get back group at this point,
Mhm.
because it seems like, just like Kimmy said on the episode, Tisha just repurposed Mel's original but made it something for her and Marceau to do, to put her in the forefront. But she didn't have Mel to completely copy her blueprint, so it's coming off as a cheap knockoff, even down to the yellow wig. So I was just
And
like, oh Lord.
I love the fact that everything you said is exactly right, that they didn't trick the audience. They had people speak it on the show. Tisha, Marcel, what the hell is this? You
Right.
guys have repurposed the comeback group to the comeback group. Like, I can't do this with y'all. I can't even make this. I can't even make this a lot. You know what I'm saying? I can't go along.
Right. She couldn't fake it. And it's like, okay, we get it. But if y'all are gonna do the business, do the business. I'll watch you pretend. But if you're gonna pretend like, oh, he kicked you out of the office, you can't let the documents come out that you're not even on the paperwork, allegedly.
Right.
So it's like the show is on real time, but the documents to basically to counteract the show are coming out real time as well. So it's like,
Here's
dang.
my question to you Pretty Brown Eyes.
Yes, ma'am.
We know that Tisha had enough collateral or assets to take out a $900,000 loan, right? Those loan papers have been found, correct?
Well, that's what they've said. I haven't seen the paperwork, but I've heard that it exists.
Okay, so I've heard this too. I've heard that she took out enough money. She took out a $900,000+ loan, which people are saying that it's possible they were using for this new house that they have. I know someone called it something about bricks, but
Bedrock.
this bedrock that they're building. But
Mhm.
whatever happened, she did have this apartment building. She did sell the apartment building. Or I don't even know if she sold it. I can't even say that because I haven't seen that paperwork. I just know that for months now, for at least 6 or 7 months, the conversation about Tisha having a $900,000+ loan exists, right? That's the rumor. And they were saying that coupled with these lawsuits and some other things was going to put her specifically in a bad place. Now, is it possible that Tisha took out this loan and she did use it to pay Martell $60,000 to buy him out, and then possibly had given the rest to Marceau for whatever reason? Because Marceau doesn't let her know what he's doing in his business. And we all know that too. But he said that tonight, which I
They
believe.
said it on the show. Right.
I believe. So I know that we're like, this doesn't happen. But I do believe Marceau when he says, I don't tell Tisha the bad stuff. I may have asked her for this money, but I'm not going to tell her what happened to the money. I may be getting sued for whatever millions of dollars, but I'm not going to tell her about that. I believe that he does that. And I think that, that he's bringing that part to the show. But is it possible that Tisha could have rescued Marceau with that money? Because what else would have happened to it? Right?
Well, she could have possibly rescued him, but I think it's more like she's he's using two things, like, in my opinion, like plausible deniability. So, but that doesn't apply when her name's on the paperwork. He's not telling her what he's doing with the money, and she's just so happy he's paying any type of attention to her,
Mhm.
To get his approval. So she's just willing to go and sign her name on the dotted line, allegedly, if that's what she did or is doing,
Well,
to,
she
to
would have had to
impress
do it,
him.
knowing that she's putting up whatever. If she had an apartment
Right.
in real life, because let's just assume that they would
It's real. Okay.
we're going to give you this 900,000, but we're going to take this apartment building from you if it doesn't work, right? Because
Mhm.
she would have had to put up something. We know that Tisha and Marceau are in a place right now where it looks like they are trying to figure things out. They moved out of the house. They're living in an apartment. They're trying to build a house. There's a lot going on in their world, and then all of the lawsuits and things like that, right? So
Right.
that being the case, we know that Tisha had a not high enough credit score and at least a little bit of collateral, something that an asset that she could have put up against this loan, because none of us people just can't walk in the bank and get a $900,000 loan.
Not at all. Mhm.
Can't happen. So for everything that we know about Marceau and Tisha at least had that. And Marceau didn't seem like he was respecting Tisha too much until she was able to bail his ass out of something.
Right. Well, I think he's using her for two things. She bailed him out and got him out. He's still keeping her in the dark as much as he can.
Mhm.
And she's using that double minority bonus so that she can acquire those loans and get the additional, the discounts and everything for being a new business owner, and so forth. So yeah, I mean, I don't have a problem with that. But the problem that I have with their entire storyline is it just comes off so inauthentic,
Mhm.
because okay, at some point he plays along, but then when it seems like Tisha's getting praised, here comes something to knock her back down, like, nah, let me kick you out the office to just take your shine away. So it's like he's taking her shine away real time
So let me
on the show.
address Carolyn Minter for 1 second. She said, how can you believe anything that Scott says? What I'm saying, Miss Carolyn, is that we know that we can't say that the Scotts don't have anything, because Tisha was able to walk into a bank and get a $900,000 loan. That's what I'm saying. I'm also saying that What we already know is that Marceau does not let Tisha take the limelight for anything. So if Tisha did do all of this to help his ass out of trouble, Marceau doesn't want that story out there. Even though he gave us just a little bit, like, oh, Tisha is like, maybe, you know what I'm saying? We'll make Tisha in reality TV world, we'll make Tisha the majority owner of this business. We all know that that's not how it went down, but we still have to acknowledge the fact, if we're saying this loan does exist, we have to also say, well, the loan exists, so Tisha did have something, and Marceau is the one who doesn't have anything. That's all I'm saying.
Correct.
Marceau doesn't have anything, and Tisha is hoping that her bailing him out would help him give her equal partnership or acknowledgement in something. And it's a hard sale. That's all we're saying. We don't trust it because of that, because we know who Marceau actually is. He's a person who doesn't want to give his wife credit. He's a person who on television tonight said, I don't want to tell her the bad stuff, which means he can lead her into anything.
Yep.
And she won't know until the day it happens or the second it happens.
Because she was not going to go against him, because
Right.
she is sitting there like a little puppy. She wants his approval so badly that she will let him dim her light. She will let him talk down to her. She'll let him kick her out of the office that she owns, that she signed her life away on, just to have him just give her a kiss on the forehead and say, oh, we got to do better. I was just like, oh my gosh.
Fact.
How much
And
do
she
you want to, can you be disrespected? I mean, even Martell had enough sense to sit back and let Melody run it, and she didn't embarrass him, and no one was none the wiser.
right.
Marceau is not going to sit back, and even though he's running it, he's not going to let her get any shine,
Any shine, any
of
credit. And
any
that's
credit,
exactly
nothing.
what I'm saying. I'm saying that Tisha and Marceau's relationship right now is no different from what we saw in season 1. It's just a bunch of conversation. But at the end of the day, knowing that Tisha had it enough to go get a $900,000, can you imagine what it would be right now if she just kicked Marceau out of her life?
Well, see, that's the thing that he's trying to avoid. So he has to put her in her place. So I mean, it's one thing to copy Melody's looks and her hair and stuff like that. But
Right.
if you truly copy Melody and follow suit with your good credit, your degrees, and somewhat know-how, Marceau would be just like Martell with
Right.
no clothes, and
Just
she
in,
can
no,
start over.
right. And just for the sake of saying it, these are just stories I've heard all over social media about this loan that's happened and the lawsuit. These are all things, if we're buying into the lawsuit and the loan, then where did they come from is all I'm asking. You can't have both.
Right. There's public records for the lawsuits.
Okay.
So and just like Miss Canvas Beauty said, allegedly, you're not anybody, and that you have to be doing some sort of business to be sued for a certain amount. So they're not gonna just sue you for that amount if you haven't at least have that type of
Thank you.
money or whatever put into it.
That's all I'm
But
saying.
I
For
just I just wish that she would wisen up, and Melody could have been more of a good ally for her instead of an enemy. It's like they made her an enemy because she left Martell. It's almost like they resented her for doing something that they were too chicken poop to do. And now they're looking back like all of them want her to step back and save them now, and work for free, and put them on. If Melody would have put one post for that Black Expo comeback group, that thing would have sold out. Everybody would have wanted their businesses displayed with Melody Holt.
for
So she knows what she brings to the table.
for sure.
So
I
they
said
they
that.
had to they would have had to really bow down, and I was shocked that she even admitted it. Well, we can't even afford you,
Right.
and I would wonder what her fees are. you know. And to go back to what you and Anonymous were talking about, I
Mhm.
believe that Martell amended everything after that trip to Destin and wanted to know how much money and doing and dipping and doing, because he saw how well she was living.
One
And he was like, well, dang, she wasn't doing it like this. He was like, I know I took them 17K from her allegedly. I know I did this. I know I took my name off of everything, because he's so egotistical. He really thought he made her.
You're
And
100% right.
he had no idea that she was gonna boss up and glow up like that. So he was like, dang, you know, remember when he did his Make America Great speech and he was like, oh, I won, my lawyer won every case against her. She's 2-0. I'm doing do. But now you've seen how she's living and she haven't skipped a beat and she's doing better without you. Now you trying to tap in. I need to know her passwords allegedly. I need to know how much money. Where's all the money? I want some of Sugar Mama because I'm that baby's daddy. But you haven't even told the baby happy birthday. You didn't advertise Sugar Mama. You don't even call her Sugar Mama. And you make sure you let us know you don't call her Sugar Mama.
And that scene is coming up next week.
What? It is DyanaRozay?
From what I saw, a lot of people in the chat is asking what happened to tonight's episode. It was actually billed as episode 3, unfortunately. So if you didn't watch it live, it doesn't look like they're going to show us a replay anytime soon. I'm hoping someone gets it fixed over there, but it aired as episode 3 instead of episode 4. That is the problem. So
why is Carlos doing that? Is he upset?
They playing with the 100 episodes to mess with the ratings.
Ratings, exactly. That's what
They're
I
trying to mess with the ratings.
Unfortunately, they're messing up the ratings, because if it's supposed to be the first day watch plus 3 more, you won't be able to catch the replay because they aired it when it played live. So we can't go back and watch a replay. So that was interesting. So I wanted to correct that.
They're mad about Brokeback Mountain remake. Oh, I see.
And
go well.
I know somebody else is waiting. The only other thing that I do want to say is about that first scene where they were arguing.
Okay.
It's like all of them were grasping for a moment. And it's like Melody was like, you know what? Let me exit stage left, because you seem like all of y'all showing out for me and y'all just trying to get me to say boo so y'all can get me in this argument. But I'm going to put my finger up like I'm in church and walk on up out of this conversation.
And what happened after that, Pretty Brown Eyes?
They stopped arguing.
They made Melody go back in there and give a y'all, we can be better than this speech.
Right.
And
they still
made her do that.
And they still tried to, because if she went back there to tell y'all we got to be better and we got to do better, you see what Stormy said? We got this. This is how we do it.
And that's
but look at her businesses being ran.
And that's what I wanted to point out to you. Stormy wanted to catch that moment, like, well, this is how we're going to act. And thinking that that scene was going to last a little bit longer, but it didn't. Melody left the scene. They made her go back to say, this is why I'm leaving. And then they show her walking out saying, not today, not to my. I was like.
And tomorrow don't look good either.
They played her walking out longer than they played the rest of them sitting there.
They had to. It was horrible. I didn't want to see them fighting. You're supposed to be in a spa day, looking nice, getting relaxed, and you coming up here about to bust caps. What's wrong with these people?
And Tiffany about to push her baby leg hanging out the womb.
Exactly. She about to break
her
water.
Trying to fight. Girl, sit down.
They thought they could do it without her, and they couldn't. That's all I'm saying. You still couldn't do it without her. They wanted her to go back in and give her peace, and with no voice at all, they are filming her hot mic walking out the door saying, not today, not me.
Well, DyanaRozay,
that was just crazy.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you this. In the private chat, I gave you the link to the other information that's been spilling tea. It is public record.
Okay.
Look it up if you want to report the new information.
Yes, I will. Okay.
You have it confirmed that way.
All right. I appreciate both of you. We got a couple of people waiting in the back. So I'm going to get Miss Sharon, and then I'll get some more people up here. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, I'll drop down to let other people come up.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
I will as well. And again, you look beautiful, and thank you for allowing me up.
Thank you,
And
guys. Y'all. Thank
I
you.
love you, pretty brown eyes. Let's just go
Love-
right in the chat for her.
Bye.
love you more.
Okay. I got Miss Sharon, and I'm going to bring up Hannah and Ty. And then I have 2 more people waiting. I see you back there. Just be patient with me. Hey, Miss Sharon.
Hello.
How are you?
Doing fine, yeah. I like this episode. I decided to just look at the show, watch the show at the show.
Okay.
We know everything behind the scenes and everything else like that stuff going on. What's interesting, I want to know who Gino is. Is he a relative, a frat brother? What kind of friend is he?
That's a good question.
You know what I'm saying? He's an extra. Keep it 10.
We don't know. He just shows up as a business partner.
Yeah.
Willing to pay a salary and profit share.
Yeah, we see that. That's true or not. But it was interesting. He saying what he said, if you treat me as your wife, we won't last long. That was a good one there. That's a good one. And he said, you get hit by a bus. Did something happen to you? I wish you went a little deeper. You hit by a bus, you get cancer, you get a stroke. Let's hear what happened to your wife.
What happened?
Business. You know what I'm saying?
He asked legitimate questions.
So that was a good one. I don't believe Marcel one bit about thinking, I didn't think about this. I don't believe none of that crap he was thinking. He didn't care if anything happened to him. He don't care if the business sink or swim if he go away.
Right.
Another thing is, and I'm tired of him saying he's a protector of what you don't protect your own wife when words are out of your mouth. So
and we listen. Just the last 2 ladies who left, we rehashed all of that. He's clearly in the same place that he was last week. He should be more of a protector of him than he is of her.
Yeah. And the meeting was a great one. At the meeting, I think that was a good eye opener for all people who started doing businesses, people who are thinking about doing a business, doing collaborations. All the questions you need to ask. I love Kimmy this scene. She asked a lot of questions, bump, really good questions. Tisha had his idea.
Kimmy handled herself.
I love Tisha had his idea, but she didn't. Tisha know how to execute. Think she always been behind the Melody always does everything, and she just followed through, and she don't really know how to execute this event. She was a worker behind, a busy worker behind the scenes, but never be the leader. So this was showing you that she'll know what it means to be a leader and how to execute the whole program.
Right.
It was so funny though how they're like, okay, who paying for this? Is this your event or this? And finally, Marcel said, Black is covering it.
Covering it. And when they asked, do you want us to participate or are you tasked to do however you want, whatever you want?
Yeah.
They didn't know what they were coming to the table with. They brought champagne and food and this life-size poster, cut out cardboard poster, and they didn't even have it together. And I think Tisha knew that she couldn't answer the question and she didn't feel like it was together.
Yeah.
She didn't like how it presented at all.
Yeah.
Marcel was the one who was just like, we're going to shut it down. Don't even try to ask any questions because you answer them right. Yes.
And then another one is family law. People don't understand. Family law is the most dangerous law of all. People who, lawyers going to people going to law school, and they would ask, which you thinking criminal law is most dangerous, but people who work in family law, they tell you that's the most dangerous law because emotions come first. People do crazy things in the courtrooms, and they're doing a custody issue, doing divorce. You're not sure you're coming out alive. That's how bad it is.
Sharon, a mouthful. I have been following an attorney who does family law here on YouTube, and some of the stories he has told about his clients, he was like, I only do mediation now because the things that happen in that courtroom is above and beyond anything that we can even imagine.
Yes.
And asking Anonymous, does she think it went much worse? Because his stories, it's frightening.
Yeah, it is. There's some cases I saw on YouTube when even the attorney would say, don't harass the judge. Do not harass the judge. Don't ask them questions. Don't ask for, the client will do outbursts, and the attorney not trying to say, don't do this, don't do that. And guess what next me know? The judge give the man or the woman full custody because you took them off.
Right.
Like that, and like, oh Lord. And then that parent had to go and get counseling, or the parent, or temporary full custody.
Right.
They love the word temporary. So I was like, oh my goodness. So I'm just saying to people, and also when he was asking them questions, I tell people it's cheaper. It's easy to go to the courthouse to get a piece of paper and get the paperwork to do full custody, right? Or any kind of custody or divorce.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're filing fees, how much will it cost? Whatever that much is. You can write, like he did his own thing. Do you remember Lionel Richie, second wife?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you remember when she was getting divorced and she put all the information down about her
I do.
Makeup stuff and all that stuff in there? Remember that?
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
He was on an Oprah show, and Oprah asked him about that. He's like, what was going on? You know what he said?
What did he say?
Someone gave her bad advice. And that tells me back in the day, when that time period, rich people, not musicians, real rich people, the wife would go in and put all the information down, what she had accustomed to. And that's what Paul she did. And this was exactly what Martell did. He went in there and put all his wish lists. All his wish lists, He tried to do it himself. Someone told him, oh, you can do it yourself. When you do family court, when you're doing child custody and all that stuff there, get yourself an attorney.
For sure.
All right. That's all I say. I'm going to step down.
I appreciate you for coming up, and I hope to see you next week, okay?
Okay. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye. Okay. I brought up Miss Ty, and it looks like I have 2 more people sitting in the back. So just bear with me, and thank you, Lee Gill, for blessing the channel. All right. I think Hannah Grace, you are next.
Hey, how's it going, everyone?
How are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you for allowing me to come up and discuss the episode. I did watch it, and like you said, it was boring to me. And I'm wondering, why would Carlos allow this to happen on the 100th episode?
Allow what to happen specifically?
For it to be so boring, that people, for the episode to be so dry. And no drama, nothing really interesting to me.
Nothing interesting. I think right now they are trying to give us a storyline about rebuilding the friendships, and they have to ease into it because we're not going to believe it otherwise. The meeting with Kimmy, Tisha, and Melody sitting there eating her chicken salad like she's never had chicken salad before. I think that was a moment where she's like, listen, at the end of the day, the desire for us to move forward from the mess that we've been in is what's important here. So the fact that both of us are sitting at this table is enough for me to invite you to my tea party. And then we're going to start seeing it unfold. But right now, Melody is trying to make amends with the group. There's a new antagonist being Stormy, her and her mother, which we will, I guess, see maybe next week or the week after at the tea party. So we know that these things are happening, and they're really trying to give us a realistic rollout for the relationships. Otherwise, they can't all come back in here holding hands and singing Kumbaya. We need to know how they got there. And it's a slow walk.
Mm-hmm. Well, I kind of had a twist on it. I thought that, in my opinion, Carlos allowed it to happen because he want people to say it's boring. It is boring. There's nothing going on. So he could say, told you so. My recipe was good with all the drama. So he can bring the drama back when people start complaining that it's dry. That's all I was thinking. Because it really makes no sense. Because it could have been a whole lot more drama. Mm-hmm. Because I want to see Kiki really, and I like Tiffany, don't get me wrong, but she was out of line for sticking her nose in the conversation. I mean, in the business between Kiki and Letitia, if you're going to take sides. Now you're going to call Kiki out, but did you not hear Kiki say that Letitia put her business out? I didn't hear you say that's family. Okay, you made a great case for why Kiki's supposed to be so loyal, but you did not do that with Tisha. I don't understand. In my opinion, Tiffany should have been called. Kiki should have got onto her real heavy, and then that would have been something that I would have enjoyed, because she should have been put in her place, pregnant or no pregnancy at that time, at that point, right, in my opinion.
And I think that we just gotta. I know a juicy scene is coming up with Tiffany asking Sheree some questions. They've already let that out the bag. But I think Melody wasn't willing to stay in that scene. And because Melody wasn't willing to stay in the scene, they had to shut it down. I think that the ladies back and forth with each other just didn't feel or look authentic, because Stormy was giving too much energy for me.
Yeah, she was. I agree with that. I totally agree. But I think a whole lot more went on in that room that that they cut out, that they could have added. But anyway.
I agree with you.
And the other thing is, now Letitia and Marcel, who do they think they're fooling? If you're going to have a great big event like that, you like Melody calling out, you're going to have sponsors, you're going to have some money coming in. You want people to do this for free? Right. I'm glad Melody called them out, because knowing them, they would have kept the money, all the profit, and then have these people working for nothing. And Kimmy, she figured it out too. So right. I don't know what Marcel and Tisha think they think they're fooling. And the other thing that was strange to me, did y'all notice that office that Marcel and Gino was sitting in, is that the old scope that Letitia them, or what I'm thinking is that they done rented out a spot, or is actually Gino's office or something, because something just didn't add up with them sitting in that office like that. And why she got to go and search for an office now, when you got a project manager coming in to help you with some big project? I guess that's who Gino said he was, a project manager.
Marceau has already told us last week's episode, there was no commerce going on over at that desk. None. Tisha was not at the desk. She was never at the desk. That's why it was so easy for Gino to come and sit in it. And I think it is that one, because it was like, I think it might be the same office. I remember them having an all-white office. It looks like they rearranged the desk, though.
Okay, I'm glad you said that, because now I do remember that is. It was just something else that was different about it. Yeah, okay, great. You got Letitia running around now she got to go over there and take Maurice's office.
That's right. You're right. But again, I think that Marceau has been delivering us the truth in his little, snipes at Tisha, and Tisha's been trying to make it something else, but it just isn't playing that way. It's just not.
Yeah. But something is let Tisha tell us she was the one that turned Scott around. But like you said, he's saying something totally different. Whatever they're saying is not matching. So anyway,
it's not matching. Facts, Hannah.
And so that is the problem. And then Melody, almost on every live that I hear her when she go live, if I catch her, she's gonna always say something about her stuff is not fake. And it's like these people are giving us fake storylines.
She's noticing. Yeah, I agree with you. Listen, we're going to see how this plays out. But I agree with you 100%. Let me read these two things off. I want to thank Mary Kelly first for blessing the channel. And she said, oops, I'm sorry. I lost Mary Kelly's comment. Let me see if I can go back and find it. Cookie from the Shy. She said that Stormy is involving herself in stuff that does not concern her. Correct, Cookie. She is definitely looking for her moment. Okay. Now let me see if I can find Mary's comment one more time. I'm so sorry, Mary. But I agree with Miss Cookie. Let me see if I can go over here and find it. Nope. Dang it. I'm sorry, y'all. I don't know how I lost her comment. Anyway, I apologize, Mary. It doesn't look like I can find it right now. But had something to say about Marceau. If you can type it back up and I can see it, that would be helpful. Okay, sorry about that, Miss Hannah. Go ahead.
That's okay. But yes, Cookie is correct. Stormy is doing too much because, you know, the comments that she was making, she just wanted the drama to continue. And when Melody got up, she was like, okay, well, she seemed like she still tried to make it look like what they were doing was right. Now, like I said, I would have liked to see Kiki put, you know,
more on them.
Tiffany in her place, because like she said, you don't know what you're talking about. And I'm gonna tell you one funny scene though that happened tonight is when it was so funny when Melody asked about the fees that they were going to charge.
Yeah.
You know, Martell was sitting over there like he was asleep until they started talking about some sponsors. Then his ears popped up like, some money gonna be involved. And did y'all notice that though? How his ears perked up when she started talking about them sponsorships? He like, okay, he thought it was like, hey, this not gonna be no money making deal right here. But then when Mel talked about the sponsorship dish, because she mentioned $100,000, his ears just popped up. It was so funny.
Yeah. Listen, they asked all the right questions. They were not prepared for the meeting. They had this meeting, they rented out this room, they had this PowerPoint. And then when people started asking questions, and Melody was the only one who was polite. She was like, I like everything y'all did. Keep the name, keep that picture, keep all of it. Now let's talk about how you want us to help. It was perfect.
And I tell you what, I did hear her live and she explained exactly why people need to be asking about, you know, about funds when you're in a meeting like that, because she said the people like Letitia, them, you better believe they've already counted their eggs. They know what's getting ready to come in. Well, they may not know exactly, but they don't want to share it. So she said, you got to know your worth. Ask the hard questions, which, you know, which was, you know, great advice for business, for people that's even trying to, you know, go onto a circuit of public speaking or whatever. But anyway, and I don't know, but the other thing that I noticed is that Martell was looking at Melody real mean, and I don't think she said anything to him and he didn't say anything to her. So that was kind of awkward. And, but you know, I wish they could get along better, but I know with Martell's behavior, I don't think it's going to happen. And that brings me to the custody thing that we heard about yesterday. Mm-hmm. I know that it's that some, I don't know if it was a judgment, I have no clue, but if it is a judgment and it's or an opinion from the court that says that the mother did not make any progress as far as co-parenting, that's a good point for her case to show that this man has been stalking, you know, has been harassing me, or, you know, he has been bothering her to the point that she cannot co-parent with him. Because why tell people that it's hard to co-parent with him and then go get in the court and say, well, we can co-parent, or try to pretend like we are co-parent. It's good that the judge know that she can't co-parent with him, and here's the reasons why. So you can look at it both ways. That's and so I think that she had no other. I think she had no choice but to say, I've tried, but I can't do it. So, I agree. And Martell just keep on doing what he do. But anyway, he keep on wearing the same suits, and I don't know why he keep on basically. Playing charade, or she playing him. I don't know what they got going on.
Wow, but absolutely nothing.
That's what it seems like.
He had paychecks going on. He trying to collect two, one from Love and Marriage Huntsville, one from RHOA. That's it.
And giving us this fake storyline. But other than that, let me see. What else did I miss? I just wanted. Those are the key points that I had. Other than
okay.
Did y'all see those crutches on in Letitia's them house up? Why do they all people be talking about how they don't clean up anything? I mean, you know, these people are coming to film. You need to declutter or something. But anyway, I think that was a fakerism scene as well, where she said, oh, you know. But anyway, I wish them all the best. I mean, but they need to be a little bit more authentic, because this whole thing seemed like it was staged. and it wasn't sincere, it wasn't anything other than fake, even with male trying to get along with them, I would not hug Letitia. That to me would be more authentic, because this girl called me a devil in sheep clothing.
She didn't let it go though, and that's what we have to be paying attention to. The fact that she even said at the very beginning of the scene, for someone to call me a devil, or saying I had a dark soul and I was evil, she put it out there. Like, this is what I want us to just pay attention to. Melody is 100% making the effort. She's making the effort.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good deal. I think that if Melody has gotten over, I won't even say gotten over anything, but if Melody has went through the pits of hell, which she absolutely did with you know who, with Martell,
Mm-hmm.
people are like flies on a wall to her right now. They don't mean anything.
Right.
She doesn't have any feelings for them.
Okay, so I can see it both ways. I could see where she's just, okay, I just want to see, be cordial with everybody, and but that doesn't mean I'm gonna be able to do business with you, invite you to my home or anything like that. But I see what she's doing.
I'm not fighting with you.
Mm-hmm. And I want
talk out before that happens.
Total peace, and that is great. But thank you so much for letting me come up and share. I think that's all I had to share. Y'all have a great night now.
Thank you, Miss Hannah. So I want to read Mary's comment before we move forward. And the comment she made was, I was just wondering how Martell was able to get the kids when he's not done with his therapy. And that is one of the questions we've all been asking Mary. Is the paperwork legitimate is what we're looking for. So I want to thank both Mary and Cookie from the Shy for blessing the channel. I don't think I said thank you, Miss Cookie. I appreciate your donation. I also want to thank Miss Lisa Hayes. Let me check to see what you guys got going on. I have 1,168 of you following, and we are 7 short away from 1,000. So if 7 of y'all can go on ahead and hit that like button, that would be great. And then let me bring up the next person. I'm going to add you to this screen. Let me see who I have up here first. Sorry about that. So I have Ty Simply Beautiful, and then we're going to bring up LB, and then I have 3 of you waiting. So I see you back there, and I'll definitely bring you up. Okay, so I think Ty is next, then Simply Beautiful, then LB.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
How you doing?
Great. How are you?
I'm doing well.
You don't sound happy. What's wrong?
I'm just about sick of this show. Now, let me just say this. I'm going to support Mel. Mother's Day is coming up. I already got my orders. I got a lot of people to buy stuff for, and I thought the skincare would be perfect. I'm going to support her businesses, period. But this show, to Miss Hannah, when she said, Carlos could be making it boring to bring the drama back. He can bring the drama back. I'm not watching that either, because that's too energy draining.
It's too
especially
much.
if it's going to be negative toward one person. So, I'll just go to my favorite YouTuber for the reviews of the show. I'm not going to watch it.
Okay. Do you feel like maybe the extra stuff that's happening on the internet is also helping?
No. I'm going to get to it.
You're fine
I'm
with
going to get to it.
Okay.
Okay, so then to Miss Sharon, I think she said something about, she was talking about executing Tisha couldn't execute the business meeting.
Mm-hmm.
Tisha can't execute the commercial for her own business.
Child, I knew you were going to bring that up.
I was so ashamed for her.
What, the realty part?
Oh my God, really? All these degrees you have? That's crazy. Okay. PBE. No, not PBE. Miss Sharon, not Miss Sharon. I forgot who said this, but this is what I want to say. If you don't mind, can I say where I got this information from to give her props for the resources? Can I mention her name? Yeah, it's another YouTuber. Do you mind?
Okay, I'll let you do it this time. I try to be very inclusive.
Right.
You know that. And I have a lot of people who'll come into the chat or come up to talk. So it's not a big deal.
That's why I asked you first. I'm always respectful.
Yeah.
Okay. So her name is Queen Sheba.
Okay. I talk to Queen Sheba all the time.
Okay. So I'm not a patron of hers, but she has a Patreon, and her Queen Sheba's detective brought her some information about the Tisha storyline about her owning the company. Did you see that?
I didn't see it, but I didn't believe Tisha owned the company. That so
Okay, so
I never believed it. So I mean, I thought that I've shared that at different times, that they took us for a ride when they even said Tisha owned the company, because when did it happen? Nothing happened that
okay.
brought her there. The storyline has been raggedy ever since that day.
So she said that Martell and Marceau owns the company. So that's
No, I
why
believe Martell really did sell the company, though.
I don't think
Name
so. I
show
think
on
that's
paperwork.
why it was so easy for Martell to come back into Tisha's good graces, because his name is on that building. It wasn't as difficult for her to not forgive Martell. I mean,
Okay.
well, to forgive Martell. It was easy for her to play like she was just that angry, but eventually they were all kumbaya with him.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay.
One of the people that came up, I cannot remember, said, or maybe you said that they want to show the business, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's fine. I'm down with that. But it got to be real business, right? So don't try to do no comeback group. Everybody do your own thing. Let's see Mel and her business ventures. Let's see Martell and his, okay, well, whatever he doing. Let's see Maurice down here at Credit One. Why are we not building nothing? Where's all these people that that Schultz hired from the university? I don't see nobody building nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Why are they not portraying that on TV? This show is boring because y'all making up stuff. You're fighting. The fights that y'all having is just, it's ridiculous. It's like it's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
You fighting with Kiki, trying to make her just feel so bad about some Christmas party. And here you done went around town and told this girl business about what she was doing and threatened to put it all out there. Come on, man. That's too much. It's too much. Look, I know it's a reality show and you got to have a little
So you don't
oomph in
believe
it.
that they got over it, or that they are working to mend it? You don't believe that part?
What I believe is this is a show now. They already done got over it. I like Kiki, right? But
Mm-hmm.
she is just like Tisha said, she has a way with her words too. You know, and she's very crafty. Very crafty.
Mm-hmm.
You know. I know a lot of emotion show on her face. However, I don't think they're that beefed out amongst each other, her and Tisha. They're not that beefed out.
Okay.
They're gonna have to find something else to do. Carla's gonna have to find something else to do besides parading Martell around here like a damn oh, sorry. Hold on. Let me gather myself. I almost forgot I was on live. Look, I don't know what they got going on, but they got to do better with this show, because this is getting boring. It's getting uninteresting. It's regurgitating the same type of stuff. You got Stormy over here acting like a wild maniac, the millionaire. I don't know what's happening here. It's too much.
Okay. And I appreciate your opinion. I agree that for me, I think that the story went off the rails when we had, and we still really don't know. I don't care what anybody say. They didn't give us enough information to make this show cohesive, or the storylines cohesive. The show went off the rails for me after we got the third season reunion, after it wrapped. Whatever went on offline with Tisha's mama, with Melody and Destiny, with the other brother and another brother. It looks like there's a whole bunch of brothers that's involved in it now, or was involved in it. When all of those people went after one person, their child and their mother, nothing ever brought us back to a full circle, what the hell's going on moment. Now, they did have that meeting with Martell, you know, the original six, when they all had the meeting, and then we saw Martell get into it with Marceau and Maurice. And that would have been, I think, okay. Like, I think enough of us would have been like, okay, we're cool with this if it wasn't for Martell doing everything that he's done since. You know what I'm
Everything
saying?
else.
Right.
Everything else.
If it
I'm
wasn't for
saying
him doing everything he did since, and if you are truly a provider, or well, I won't say I know Melody says provider, protector, but if you truly are a protector of your family, you're a protector of your family no matter what. No matter what. Nobody can do anything to you, whether we're married or divorced. Nobody can say anything about my children, whether we're married or divorced. There's certain things that just don't happen for a lot of people watching.
well,
It's
you know,
those
I'm
answers.
sorry. I'm sorry. Well, you know, Martell is the bitter baby mama, really. He is the bitter one.
And you listen, I'm not saying that that's not true. What I'm saying is, for me, the show went off the rails when
Right.
he didn't get any of these things connected and tied up. It made him look like a BAN, and he's going to always look like a BAN until he can say, I don't know who the hell that month was that did all of this stuff. Like, until that happens, nothing redeems him ever.
That's right.
Ever.
Until he really.
I said this in my review today. I said that the second Martell on the show, first season, the second he said, I'm going to sue you I'm going to take the kids from you. How about that? Because he didn't like Melody said, I know you had my kids over that bitch's house. The second he said that did it for me. I was just like, ugh, what is this? What is this person?
Right.
Martell, as a man, as a father, and at the time, a husband, he had reduced himself to the lowest form. He's the lowest form of a person, of a man that could ever walk the earth, in my opinion. In my opinion. I've also said this 101 times. People threatening Black women and saying they're going to take their children away, there's no way to come back from that. It's the nastiest, vilest thing you can ever do.
That's
It's
right.
violent. It's violent. I said that too. I've said these things 100 times. I said that Martell will never recover until he figures out how to make what he did to Melody, what he said to the world, to all mothers, in my opinion. And sometimes when people are out there, thank you so much, Del Reyna, for blessing the channel. When people are out there saying, but he's a good father, he's a this, that's the footprint that's going to be on the show forever. So when his kids get old enough to go back and watch that show that he doesn't want them to watch, that's the shit they're going to see.
They keep saying he a good father. I agree with you on all your points. But
So
they keep saying he a good father. However, the mask of a person, because his behavior it exudes through his skin.
it is exactly it's exactly what it is. Now, the way I saw it was, Melody had an opportunity. There was a person that was in her life that she saw every day that she made excuses for. When she was able to get a sense of peace, like she said 101 times, I have been by myself. Isolation brings revelation. When she was able to see those things, then she was like, listen, I done messed up a whole lot of years fooling around with your ass, and I'm not doing it anymore. And he's just now figuring out that the things he used to say, the things he used to do to reel her back in, he can't do no more. He's just now figuring that out.
And it's not working on everybody else. It worked on somebody, but that wasn't the somebody he wanted it to work on.
And you're right. I agree with you. It's not somebody he wanted to work on. But what I'm saying is, and Martell's watching this show like all of us, and he has a lot of people that's in his corner that's telling him to be exactly who you are. And until he figures out that those people don't like him, he will always be this person.
But the main protagonist of that is his mother. She is the main one that endorse and enforce that bad behavior. They both need therapy.
I agree.
Okay, one more thing.
Yes, ma'am.
Carlos has pumped up the Scotts, Letitia and Marceau so hard and so much that if they really show what's really going on in their real life,
Mm-hmm.
They'll be too embarrassed. I need to see why y'all still sitting at that small round table. Where's all these millions at, baby? What's happening? You Tisha trying to get stylists and stuff, baby. Work on that house. Get some of that your house looking like your mama house.
Marceau is a proud man. He's the type of man that doesn't want anyone to know that his wife has more than he has. So it's gonna be a lot.
Well, you know, pride stinks in God's nostrils, but whatever. Like I said, I'll keep supporting you, and I ain't worried about that show. So that's all I wanted to say.
I know that's right. Hey, Diana, how are you?
How are you? I appreciate
I'm blessed and not stressed. Look, this was straight trash. Your hat is giving me life, honey. Okay,
Okay.
your hat is better than the show. So come on with your information because the other hat you had, I said when it's coming out, you said okay, give me a minute. Okay, I gave you a minute.
And I'm telling you right now, literally, my sister and I are working on it. These hats are available, so you'll be able to buy them. This one right here, and the one that you saw last week, you'll be able to buy. So
Okay, because the hat, the hat is way better than the show, baby. Okay, your
okay.
hat is real deal Holyfield. Them fakerisms, I'm good. That's all I had to say. Have a good one. Stay blessed and not stressed.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, let me see. I have that was LB. Okay, I'm going to add Advocate to the stream, and then we have Simply Beautiful. How are you, Simply Beautiful?
I'm good. How about yourself?
I'm great. What's going on?
You know what? I understand why people say the show is boring. I don't know, maybe because I was laughing at certain things like Mel tearing that chicken
Mhm.
salad up. I thought that was hilarious because I
That
was
was
like,
hilarious. I didn't even look up. She was like, "Baby, just get me off of this. Get out." Listen, she just knew how to handle herself different. Tisha was sitting there with a fume face, and Melody was just like, "Choom, choom, choom."
yep. But you want to know something? She said on Twitter that she actually said that it came from LeBeric, but they did not air that.
Yeah, I showed the tweet that she had said, "I mentioned your name, but it looked like it didn't make it out of the editing room." Yeah.
Yeah. As far as the show go, I didn't mind the show. Of course, it can be better. I feel like the spa scene there was a lot edited out,
Hmm.
especially once Mel basically said, "I got to go," because you could tell even in the trailer that there was more going on. Because even Stormy was like, "Yeah, I would have popped you back." So clearly, there was something more in exchange between Stormy and Kiki.
Hmm.
As far as Tiffany goes, I felt like Tiffany was being a hypocrite,
Okay.
honestly,
Hmm.
because you got all this smoke for what Kiki did to her family, but yet you and Lewis are very chummy with Martell after what he did to his family. I mean, if we're going to put it on the scale, what Martell did was 10 times worse than what Kiki did. I'm sorry.
Yeah. You're true. You're right. I agree. I agree.
um, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, no, go ahead.
Um, as far as Tisha, Tisha has no business leading anything when it comes to business. That whole entire scene was cringeworthy. The fact of the matter that she was like, "What do you mean a budget?" And Mel was like, like, you don't know what a budget is? Like, what
Right.
is going on here?" It's
Right.
like they didn't have a true plan coming into that meeting with everybody.
Poked holes all the way through it.
And then the fact of the matter, I'm with Mel. And in one breath, you calling me a dark soul. I am the devil in sheep's clothing. But you want a favor from me? In what world?
Right. Right. Everything you said is absolutely correct, girl.
And even Kimmy was like, "Are y'all trying to rebrand and basically sell us back the comeback group? What is going on here?"
Facts.
To me, Carlos and them, either you're going to recast this show or you're going to have to force Marceau and Tisha to give their real story, because what they're displaying is a bunch of fakeness, and you can definitely, it's basically shown this is fake.
And I think again, Marceau's telling one story, Tisha's
Yep.
telling another, and it's how to get Tisha on board with the real story.
Oh my-
Because Marceau is telling the real story. He's just
yeah.
she's just wanting to be propped up on a pedestal some kind of way, and we're not buying it because we don't know how the hell she got there. She was a housewife,
She was a
and we
housewife.
never saw the journey into the other thing. It was just, oh, all of a sudden I own an apartment building and I own this. It's like, but that's not who you ever presented as. So, and we don't know and we don't know who this person is. And neither do you, because you're not even comfortable playing the role.
I mean, like, she says she's a real estate agent. Has she even ever sold anything? Like, she has a brokerage.
She
I'm
said
trying to.
she said that she does commercial buildings, that she does commercial real estate. Marceau does commercial real estate construction. And yeah, they both of them do it. We just don't know what that looks like for her because again, we've never seen it play out. We don't know how
Yeah.
transitioned into it. We did remember her saying, like, I think first season, she got a job with a real estate agency
Mm-hmm.
when she said, Marceau, you can do the hotel. So that was when Marceau got the hotel contract.
Yeah.
Those things were real. But right now, everything else they're keeping under wraps. The lawsuit is quiet, and everything else is quiet for that matter.
This is crazy.
Yep.
Um, as far as Martell goes, Martell is the epitome of a BAN. He's never going to be able to sit at a table with Melody again. I mean, you should have just kept your role as the side husband and just sat there and be quiet. Because
Right.
the way she sunned him at that table when she said, "Don't worry about my fees. That's none of your business."
Right.
And he had to sit there looking stupid because she's right. That's none of your business anymore.
Right.
I think the real reason why he said that there's like tension between them, because I think this is after the Christmas stuff where she basically said the kids can't have the cell phones on her during her time. And this was after she kind of revealed that she was seeing somebody, as Tisha revealed in that scene. And I think he knows, but he doesn't know who it is, and it bothers him.
Mm-hmm.
So I just can't take Martell. And Sheree looks like a fool. He makes her look like a fool.
What did you think about all of that? Like the new clips?
Oh, for Real Housewives?
Mm-hmm.
You could tell the relationship is fake. Like the whole kiss thing, you could tell he was completely uncomfortable.
For sure.
And then if you catch the word in, she was
Mhm.
like, he gives BDE. But you kind of made it seem like on that Andy show that you already had it and that it was so good. So if it's so good, wouldn't you know for a fact that he is giving you BDE?
Child, who knows? Okay. Both of them are lying at this point. We'll just have to see how it plays out, child.
The
It's
press
crazy,
tour, the press tour is obvious because she's saying one thing and he's
He's saying a
basically friend zoned her, and it's like
sure. And
so
everyone keeps saying they unfollowed each other. They
they would
never
never.
followed each other. Never
Yeah.
followed each other, guys. I reported on that when the thing first came out, when they first started showing up. I would go to his page every day practically
Mhm.
just to look to see if his numbers changed because it stayed. I think he only follows 3 people or 4 people. Not a lot at all. And he never added Sheree. And when I looked at her page, she never added him. So they
Yeah.
followed each other so that they didn't have to keep up the truth. So now it's all out there like these two aren't following each other. They never did.
They never did. They never even posted pictures of each other. She
Never.
did, but it was in like a
She posted them and she deleted them.
yeah.
It was a one-day thing.
That's a one.
And that's not even a joke. She posted them for like 1-2 days.
Yep.
And then there was one comment he made on her page like, "Hey girl," or something like that, looking good or something like that. Same thing. It was something they put on there for 1 or 2 days. Destiny and Sheree talk to each other more than Martell and Sheree on social media. In fact, they don't talk to each other at all. this relationship, no.
I mean, I'm not surprised by that, because the only time he truly claimed her was when he was going back and forth with Melody, when he
Yep.
was like, I'm with a bad bee and I was walking my girl's dog. I was like,
You're jealous of me and my girl. That was the only time he claimed her, for sure.
because he thought he was doing something to Mel, but Mel doesn't care. And that was the problem. That's always going to be the problem. Mel doesn't care.
For sure, that's a fact. That is a fact. But yeah, that is not true. They've never followed each other. That's why they're sitting back laughing, because they just didn't put it on. They didn't put it online. They take their press photos, but they don't follow each other.
Yeah. And you were right in that video when you was talking about the custody case, and there's supposed to be a new judge. I've been under people comments like there's no new judge. It's been the same judge.
Oh, let me show you guys this. Thank you for saying that. Simply Beautiful. I appreciate you for saying that, because I this earlier. I wanted to show you guys the actual court date stuff. So y'all see that it says April 20th, 2023. That was when the judgment was supposed to have happened, right? And you see right there, it says Judge Allison Austin, right?
Yep.
Melody Cherie Holt, Martell LeVar Holt gives you a court time. It says she's the judge. This is the courtroom. This is from February 28th, 2023. Same judge, Allison Austin.
Yep. It's been the same judge since they first started going.
And this is from August. Same judge, same courtroom. So I just thank you for saying that, because I was like, now again, because that's why I wanted to ask, that's why I was asking Anonymous, is it possible that these cases isn't running, simultaneously? Like usually when they're both having the same case, the judge is hearing both, so that there's taking testimony at the same time, because you're not going to have them testify and then have someone testify in another courtroom. They'll just take the paperwork or whatever over there. That's what I should have clarified that.
That's what I think they did. And because you got to remember, Mel did not want full custody. She never wanted to pull Martell away from the children.
Correct.
She only did that, I guess, when he was in mediation and the 6 little demands that he said he gave.
Correct.
She wasn't going to go for it. So she said, I'm going to just countersue you. But I think, judging from her behavior, she's happy with joint custody. 7 days on, 7 days off, no child support. And watching him today.
Exactly what her cousin said. She said, we are happy. You see that?
Yep.
So we're extremely happy over this part. So I don't know. I won't say that she doesn't want to move on from him now, because I think that I think that the court case was really contentious, and probably they need to come down from that. So I can
only imagine him and his mother's scenes once they start filming again. Because Marlene.
For sure. Absolutely. I agree with you. Okay. So let me get these other people up, because I see people are leaving the chat, but I appreciate you, Simply Beautiful. It's been a long time since I've had you up here.
Yes. But I'll be back.
Okay.
I'll watch your
Make
videos
sure you come back. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Bye-bye. Okay. I have Advocate for Injustice. I have Golden up here. And then I have MJ. I don't even know who MJ is. But MJ, could you turn on your, I'm going to leave you back here so I can see your face real quickly, because you are someone I haven't talked to before. And then once I see your face, I'll get you added to the screen. Okay, Advocate for Injustice. Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you today?
Awesome.
Good. Good. I just wanted to say hi, and I've been looking at your show, but I've kind of been going through a lot of family stuff and deaths and stuff in my family, so I haven't been really on top of it a lot lately. But I do look at it at night. I haven't been involved as much. But I really enjoy your show, and I do want to get that hat that you have on today.
Thank you. You'll be able to, I promise you.
Okay. I'm going to be looking forward to it. Okay. And actually, the show was a little breather for me. It's like, I guess I'm kind of immune to teaching them. I don't really pay them no attention, kind of like. But I like the idea that Melanie, she created this show. This is her baby, and she's not walking off. Okay, and I don't blame her.
Mm-hmm.
I think she should stay there, but I love the way she's just paying them dust and just she's not allowing them to use her. She's not allowing them to break her peace and none
Mm-hmm.
of that. And I just love the way she's moving on this season. And I just love the way Tisha thought she was conducting the meeting, but the real conductor was Melody.
Right. The real conductor was Melody. Melody
Yeah.
and Kim
And Kimmy, I was really surprised of her
controlled the
too.
rhythm.
That's one of the best parts of I seen of Kimmy. I was like really surprised the way she was coming out because I was like, okay, Kimmy, go ahead. I really enjoyed her because she been getting on my nerves, but tonight she was like on top of it.
I was surprised that she came with it this with
Yes, she did. She
and I
brought it.
think that she surprised Tisha too, because at one point she looked like, "Are you coming for me?"
Right, right. And then and then I can understand, I heard some of the people on the chat and people say, well, I don't see how she can hug and she a dark soul. But it's called maturity because I'm almost 61 and I've been through some stuff. And then you do that even with your own family members. Sometimes you have to, if you guys are not on the same page, it's okay not to be on the same page. You love each other from a distance, but you got to kind of maintain a business relationship. And then Melanie's on her way to Hollywood, the big lights. And if you can't get past Tisha, you can't get to the Hollywood.
It's
So
that's
she,
exactly what I was like at some point. That's when
yeah. So
you can feel it affecting your health.
exactly, yeah, exactly.
If
And
anybody's ever had that type of weighted, when I walk in a room, I can't see this person's face. Sometimes you just gotta let it go.
you do, and you can't give people that kind of energy because that kind of stuff will really make you sick if you
For
allow it.
sure.
Hmm.
And I know, child, I've held a grudge or two.
Yeah, me too, many times, and I'll be 61 in July, and I'm at the point too where it took me a little longer to get where Melanie's at because I got children her age. My oldest is 42 years old, and
Mm-hmm.
I have children Melanie's age and under, and I have 30 one in their 30s and another one
Mm-hmm.
39, and I'm loving her grace. She's really super matured very quickly because that girl has been through the storm and the rain, and then I look at her, and it's like I was that girl too, but it's like we didn't have the social media with my first husband.
Mm-hmm.
We only and God, I'm glad we only had one child
Mm-hmm.
together. And that's my oldest son. We only had one child together, and I had started dating him when I was actually 16,
Mm-hmm.
and we ended up breaking up, and it ended up our relationship. He never stopped. He kept taking me to court, even with my second husband. It's like he never stopped. He just kept bothering me, and it didn't end until and then he even got married. He didn't get married till 10 years after we broke up. After we divorced, whatever. He didn't get married till 10 years later because he kept himself open to think I would possibly take him back. He even became a millionaire, and he offered me 20-something million to leave my husband and tell me my second husband and tell me that he would even take care because we had 3 kids together. He would take my kids and take care of me if I would leave him and this and that. Just a master manipulator. I didn't care nothing about no money. I was just like Melanie. I walked away with just my peace of mind, you know.
Wow.
And I just
Oh,
never seen nothing.
wow.
I never seen nothing like this play out on TV. And he even though he got married again or whatever, he still was never happy. And I see Martell as that same guy. And it's just, but he eventually ended up making himself so sick that he ended up passing away. But I
Oh,
think no, but I think he did it kind of to himself. You know what I'm saying? He did it to himself just because, and then he talked about me to everybody that would listen, and I'm this and I'm that. He did the same thing Martell doing, and then it's like I even told him he could,
you know
huh?
what? You're gonna have to email me because
Oh, I'm sorry.
no, I didn't mean it that way. I meant you're gonna have to email me and because I would like to talk to you off the internet.
Okay. Okay.
If you
Okay.
can do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. And I move on because that's a very interesting story. But he ended up passing. But everything he did was self-inflicted. He even became a millionaire self-inflicted. Okay. He was a merchant seaman. He allowed the anchor on the ship to fall on him. He untied it. That's how he got paid off of that. Okay. To
Wow.
become a millionaire. Anyway, I'll talk to that off camera. I want to talk about the show.
Well,
I'll
look,
email you.
my email address,
And I
my
think
email
it's
address
because.
in the comment section and in the description box. So it's DyanaRozay777 @gmail. Send me an email because I want to talk to you a little bit more. You have a story that's similar to a friend of mine who I will see on Saturday next.
Oh, okay.
But I wanted to ask you some questions
Okay. Okay.
if you're open to talking about it.
Yeah, I'm open. And don't you have a Patreon page?
I don't have it up yet, but I'm definitely going to get it up because I know that we have a lot of other stuff that we should be talking.
Okay, because I know I was on your page and I was on there as a member, and I see that
Oh,
I'm.
I think you and I talked about it then.
Huh?
Did we talk about it?
I don't know, but I changed from my bank to a credit union, so I got to fix that. But anyway, because
Okay.
I've always supported you since you've been on, I've always admired you so much.
I
It's just that all this stuff that's going on. But anyway, let me get off the personal stuff.
No.
Talking about the show,
Yeah.
I love the way Melanie just got to the point. She was making biz. She was telling her that's real business, and you could tell Tisha she's clueless about business. And
Mhm.
it's like I could see her, even though she hugged her. It wasn't no tight hug. It was just like, okay, we got to be in the same space. You're dealing with her just like a coworker, and
Yeah.
you're dealing with all of them just like a coworker. They showed their hand. You see who
No.
they are, and you deal with them with a long handle spoon, and accordingly, and don't never let them back in your interest circle. And you just do that stuff in real life with everybody, anyway. You know,
Exactly.
yeah, and and this is her show, and everybody's talking. She should leave the show. She should get off. I used to agree with that until I heard it from Melanie's mouth. You know what she's doing? She's trying to reach that 100 after. She's trying to get paid after this is long gone. Because Melanie gonna still be successful even when this show go off. And I support her highly with all her products, with everything she sells and everything. And she's gonna be just fine. But Martell, that man, he
Oh
ain't
my
gonna never
God.
change. I know y'all saying this. I've had a person like him. He's not. He's not. He'll end up passing away. My husband on his bed is taking his last word.
Mhm.
Instead of he was with his wife, his new wife, and his family and everybody. And he told my son and his wife, "Don't you let that be to that come to my funeral." Now, who think of stuff like that when they dying?
Okay. You're right about that.
No, he was just miserable like that because I got with him at 16. He was 5 years older than me, so you know what I'm saying. He had the upper hand on me for a while, kind of like Melanie. And then as I grew and got older, and I outgrew him, and then he was a merchant seaman. I think that's the only way I stayed with him for a long time because he was a merchant seaman. So he was gone 7 to 8 months. I think that's why we stayed married as long as we did because I wasn't around him all the time. But once
Uh,
I saw it and once I got away, oh my God, I was this bad person
Hey.
to everybody. Yeah. So Martell, he's and then with this court stuff that he got, he want her email, her password. What is if a judge go for that? We need to do a picket for that judge to
right.
get off the bench.
Exactly.
Okay, that's just ridiculous. I mean, she can be easily so much compromised. Her privacy and everything with that. That's just ridiculous. That made me sick to hear about it. I didn't know he was that low down. But it's just show
Right.
you. But at least he's showing her what she working with. Okay,
Okay. So
he's showing her.
I'm gonna let Miss Golden come up.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go
I
ahead.
appreciate
Because I
you.
was on
Get
here
your
waiting
mic
for a
on.
while, and then
Okay.
I started having me a little cocktail, and I kind of got off topic a little bit. So I'll come back on. But huh?
Okay. Make sure you come back next time. Okay, Miss
Okay, I
Golden?
will. And thanks for letting me up. Okay,
Okay.
take care.
Don't forget
Okay,
to
bye
email me.
bye.
Okay.
I will. Okay, bye bye.
Okay. Hey there, Miss Golden.
Hi, Diana. Thanks for letting me up.
How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well.
Good.
I want to start with not the return of the spa because, yeah,
Okay.
but I want to just get your thoughts on how you were talking about how we met Marceau and Tisha and where they are right now and how they
Yeah.
just crossed the river
Yes.
without actually taking a boat.
Right.
So, like, I just wonder how you feel about, like, because I kind of think that Marceau used to talk for Tisha, and it was a way of protecting her.
You thought it was
But now, since she's done all this, I need this, I'm a boss, I'm this, I'm that, blah, 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 blah. And so, like, just like tonight, oh, sorry, I can't hear you.
me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. I'm sorry.
Okay.
So, just like, we saw on this show, he's given her the opportunity. She said this is what she wanted to do, and he really couldn't save her. She's the boss. She's a business person. She's got 17 master's degrees, but she couldn't even present her home presentation. I'm sorry. Hopefully, maybe there was more than one slide, and that was put on the editing floor.
Mhm.
But she had one slide, and she had to read it word for word. Where, Miss Boss, is it that you conduct a presentation like that? There was no eye contact with her audience. She had to read every single word. Um, I, she didn't get the blueprint for mail. If she got the blueprint, all the ink left the blueprint because she got nothing from what Mel tried to give her. Mel got her stank attitude and no thank you, but she has given her no, but she is completely trying to be this girl, trying to recreate herself.
I agree with you, and I think part of Tisha's storyline where it's falling short for the audience, where it's falling flat for the audience, is that we don't get to see how this even went down. Like what they fed us was never believable because when they put her in these positions where she's supposed to stand up and be the boss, she can't be the boss. And Marceau kept shut. Did you think Marceau was shutting her down when she was talking? Did MJ?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Very, very true.
Okay, I thought he was shutting her down. I thought she was, trying to be. And he was like, like he was like, nope. No. When Kimmy was asking very direct, do you want us to join or participate? Whatever you want to do. At this point, this presentation has failed miserably. I don't want any more attention on it. I want us to just drink this champagne and get it over with because whatever we set out to do, we failed at. Tisha and him went up. That was the first time we saw Tisha and him be one in any type of business, anything, right? Is that the first time?
That's the first time that I've seen them actually come up with what was, like Tisha said, her vision.
Her vision. When we saw them
vision.
the bar, we didn't see Tisha was there smiling like the pretty wife. This is our bar. This is what we did to get here. It was only Marceau. So in my opinion, this was our first time seeing the two of them. And I don't think that it was executed well. I don't think that they were comfortable. I don't think Tisha specifically was comfortable. The only thing that seemed real in that scene was Marceau coming in and shaking Melody's hand because Tisha told him before they walked in the door, don't you hug her.
Oh,
don't you hug her. Came in, he shook Martell's hand, his brother's hand. He hugged his brother, hugged Kimmy, stuck his hand out for Melody.
Yeah, she's not here for attention to Mel from Marceau.
And Melody didn't stand up either. She didn't stand up to hug him.
As she should not. Because from the way Marceau was with Mel, oh, I'm sorry. Marceau I'm kind of watching you on the TV, but talking on my phone. So I'm like, oh, I'm interrupting because their lips are moving with the delay.
Yeah. No.
So it's like you have the energy that Marceau used to give Mel, the fact that he would just drop by her office to talk about nothing. We're not getting any of that anymore. None of it. Because Tisha has said you're gonna stop.
Family, Marceau's brothers did the most to Melody. And I think those things take time. If we're going to believe them, those things take time.
Agreed. I have to wonder why it is that Martell believes that it's okay for him to do all the things that he's done to Mel, and she's still supposed to come in a room, greet him nicely, give him more than what he deserves, any more than he's given her in all the years that they were together. Because for me, the fact that we don't hear anything from Coleslaw lately lets me know that Martell could have shut her down years ago if he wanted to.
100. Everything you said is accurate.
He could have shut her down. He didn't want to. Just like, I think everybody has always said, not only was Martell putting the battery in her back, but he was feeding her all the information. That wasn't just pillow talk. He was giving her exactly what he wanted to give her because she was dumb enough
To
to
control
drag
her.
herself into, yes, and
All
to
the way up
build him
until
up.
him, all the way up through him having her join his live and making the conversation. Oh, that's right. They haven't put you on TV, huh?
Yes.
Like all of that was definitely him trying to send a subliminal message.
Hmm. But I don't really think that he was an advocate for her to be on the show.
Never.
I,
He was trying to.
I don't. But
No, but he
I
was
don't believe that.
definitely weaponizing that conversation
Yes.
against
De-
Melody.
Definitely, definitely. I just, I can't even. But that was the part for me. With the office scene. Now I don't know what building they were. When Tisha was the assistant and she was making coffee, and they had the big blue velvet like bride and groom chairs,
Mm-hmm.
and it didn't look like an office at all. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know, like, how did we come from that building, which was supposed to be their office, to the cubicle for, telephone sales? Like, how did that, like, I wasn't expecting that. When Tisha said that Gino came in and took her office, well, it's not her office.
You know what? I got to look at that scene again. I saw the chairs, and for some reason, I thought that it was the same office that they just had rearranged the desks differently because someone said that Sculpt, the office,
Hmm.
connected to Black, the bar, the whatever it's called. Yeah, the bar.
Right.
So they're side by side to each other, and I think they own the whole building. And I believe that they're going to cut out a little space for Tisha's realty office too.
It's going to be the big booth on the side.
Right.
It's going to be the big booth on the
Yeah,
side.
to be
So
honest.
it makes me wonder. So what hotel room were they renting to present this big space where there were no desks? I think there may have been a counter, but I just remember like the little round table in between the chairs and those big blue chairs. I never understood it.
They
I
had a
think there was a desk
Are you
in the
talking
back.
about the first time or right now, currently?
No, the first time. I'm talking about that scene where
Keisha and Destiny.
and Destiny, yes.
Coffee. Child, your guess is better than mine, but you're right. I'm gonna go back and look at that scene just to evaluate the space because I
Yes.
remember Wanda coming in the door and it just looked wider, like
Yes.
it was wide and long.
And long, yes, because
Yeah,
there was space back there. Where's the espresso machine? Like it was
right,
a lot in there. It was a lot.
right.
And my husband pointed this out, but did you see when was it Tisha? When Tisha was leaving Kimmy's office,
Hmm.
when she opened the door, there was like a 2-inch space, and then there were all the, what do you call it, the electrical meters,
Hmm.
like right there. So where are they now? Because I don't know, the desk is not in the same space. I'm not quite sure. Maybe it's a house that they built a
I'm
new
gonna
office
definitely
on.
look. Well, they're supposed to be remodeling their house, so maybe they were doing
Okay.
shooting in their house. I don't know. Let me say this, but before you move forward, I want to thank Sherry Gibson for becoming a new channel member, and I want to thank Lee Gill who had this to say. They said it's so uncomfortable to watch Martell talk about Sheree. He gets extremely nervous, child. He
Yes.
does, tongue tied whenever he's asked about it. Martell's physical preference is for younger women, right? I agree that Sheree definitely puts him in a nervous state, and I've never seen him do that before. So it's kind of weird.
That's
I mean,
because
he's
Martell can't, he's not an actor. He cannot
yes,
fake what's not there. He can't fake that. And they don't have any chemistry. When they're standing next to each other and taking pictures, I mean, they have absolutely no chemistry. Now, Sheree can play up the relationship because that's sort of what she's used to doing. I mean,
yeah,
that's what she's done this whole time that, the Real Housewives of Atlanta have been on. And, she's been coming back and forth. Sheree can fake the funk. We've seen it. I mean, her
that's what
son was
we're
on. her son was sleeping in a living room in a 2-bedroom apartment on a air mattress, but this girl was driving around in a $200,000 car.
Until
If
it got
there, yes, if there is anyone who could fake and do it well, a storyline, it would be Sheree.
child.
Mark,
Sheree's storyline last year was her closing out the season, literally closing out the season
right.
finale, walking down that stage. She was so proud that I was proud of her. Um,
Yes.
so all of that craziness happened after, and I was like,
Yes.
hey, how did
Yes.
you do this?
And then look, she didn't even pay the designer who like took like a week to come up with all that stuff for the runway, which is not even the fake athleisure stuff that she's supposed to be selling.
Right.
So it's like,
Everything that was on that stage that I was like, that is cute. That is cute.
yes,
Never made it to the website. Never
no, because he did that. She didn't have a show. She didn't
did
have
it.
a show. She didn't have any clothes. He pulled that out for her. And it's disappointing, which also lets you know that Martell and Sheree are cut from the same cloth, because if that's what she's wanted to do all these years, that was the biggest opportunity. You have this platform. You are on Bravo and you cannot execute. So those two people together, if I hear any one of those Scots talk about a power couple and how Sheree is a level up, I mean, I do
I
like the
say bring it
character.
on. Bring it
Yes.
on. Let's hear it. You know why? Because we already know that Martell is suffering. He, like he already said, he lost his favor. He lost his favor.
Oh, I'm glad he said
Did
that. I
you
wish
see
he would
that?
say that in front of his mama.
Oh, okay. He said that on today's show. He said, I
Yes.
feel like I lost my favor. And you did. You
Yep.
did.
Yes.
Okay.
And
So
that's why his wife is still flourishing. His ex-wife, I'm sorry, never say that. His ex-wife.
fact.
Because she was attempting with him to let God order their steps.
Yep.
And he didn't only stray off the path, he took a whole hike up a mountain without Melody. He forgot. He forgot. And I don't even know if I can say he forgot. Let me scratch that. He didn't have it. It wasn't in him.
It wasn't in him. And that's
It
the whole
wasn't in
thing.
him. Yes.
He lived a life where he honestly thought he was the one. He was
Yes.
the one and the two.
And
And
the
he
two.
learned the hard way. Okay.
Yes. I have one last thing, and I promise it's the last thing.
Nope.
Do you believe that like, I know that like the judge is supposed to be impartial, and I mean, I'm not saying that she's biased at all, whoever she is.
Mhm.
But I do, like, for me, if the things that have been reported during this week are true,
Mhm.
and she said that Mel has been hindering the the co-parenting situation,
Mhm.
and and then she gave Martell good, I don't know, I guess positive reinforcement, I guess, and how he is making strides in his co-parenting and making more of an effort.
Mhm.
And so that kind of struck a chord with me, if that's actually what happened. It
Okay.
struck a chord because I'm like, this is why Martell doesn't change.
And
We
the thing with Martell being a narcissist,
Yes.
they are able to become, they're chameleons. They can turn
Mm-hmm.
whatever they need to turn into. And so for people who know it and see it, like we saw it, like I said a couple of minutes ago or whenever, when he said that he was going to take full custody of the kids, Melody just had sugar mama.
Yes.
That was a violent thing to say. Like she
Yes.
was postpartum. That was a violent thing to say. But for a lot of people that don't, recognize,
Mm-hmm.
it didn't feel like an isolated incident because in the next moment, he's being very charming. Oh, look, he's dodging pillows or whatever. And
Yes.
he's having conversations like it never happened. Like he's the nice guy.
Yes, because you see what you do, Mel. Even though I told you I wasn't gonna be here when you came back from Atlanta, I wasn't gonna be here, and I was gonna have my bags packed.
Yes.
Why are you yelling at me?
Why
Why?
are you
Why are you coming in the house like that? Why don't you didn't even speak to your kids?
You're
Really?
absolutely right. All of that, like for people who know it, you can see how he goes in and out of certain
Mm-hmm.
spaces. You can also see how he turns on anger, like whatever he did with the Scots. Like I said, A lot of people would not have shaken that so easily, but he shook
Right.
it, and then he says to Melody, well, you got to learn how to let things go.
Yes.
Because he knows the terror he is to others. So if
Yes.
you let it go, I forgive easy. The reason you forgive easy is because you require forgiveness
Yes.
constantly.
And he needs it. His apologies mean nothing at all. He does say what he needs to say in the moment. And Martell needs friends.
Right.
I
It's a
don't believe, yes, I don't believe that, like, because Mel has real friends and she has a very supportive family and a praying, loving mother, she doesn't need to fake with other people. It's important for Martell to get validation, 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 because he needs extensive therapy. The fact that Martell was supposed to go to therapy, like, what, 2 years ago?
right.
And now he's in this fake therapy. And if it's true about a psych eval, that's something he should have had years ago. He probably should have had that in middle school, in my honest opinion, and allegedly. There has been something wrong with this man for a long time. It's unfortunate. You know, I listened to that other panel the other day, and I love the fact that there was, like, the, one side of the aisle. I think somebody said the two sides of the aisle.
Mhm.
That was great. But for all of the things that they say about millimeters, like, because I didn't even know we were now nuts.
Uh,
But the
Melomut?
people, they said we're nuts.
Oh,
We're nuts for me. Yes, that's, like, I guess that's supposed to be derogatory. But
oh,
I'd rather be nuts for someone who has sense, who's showing us how to boss up. She's showing us how her life was being destroyed by this man, and she did not let him.
right.
That's the problem. But when people say that, these women that they see, propping Martell up, telling him the most basic thing you could do is be a good father.
Right.
How good, what kind of memories are you giving your children? What kind of things are you planting in their head? Where these people are giving him kudos for taking his children to
Their
dinner.
father would have never said, I'm going to take full custody. And that was the
Yes,
whole point.
exactly.
A
The
good
fact
father
that
would
they
have never
think,
even thought to say it because his
yes,
father would not have wanted that shit on television.
exactly. And recently he has said that him and Mel both wanted to put the story out there, that they both wanted to do that. They
Right.
wanted to share their story. But for years he was saying that I wanted to keep it in the household. Melody put it out there.
And I told you that they both agreed a long time ago. It
Yes.
was already
Yes.
out there. I told you guys that they both agreed to it. But I'm going to have Miss MJ speak because we haven't had that person speak yet. I don't think is this your first time on the channel?
Thank you so much, Diana. I'm going to go down.
You're going to go down? Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, Miss Golden. Come back.
All right.
I enjoyed you. Thank you.
Hi, Diana. No, it's my second time on. I went as Michelle Jones, and then I decided to change it to MJ.
Oh, okay. Okay, Michelle. How are you?
I'm doing good. So first of all, I want to say I just love all your hats for real.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate you.
The second thing I want to say is, I was married for 32 years. Me and my husband was together for 45 years. My husband taught me how to love, um, um, made me feel like a queen and all of that stuff. And when I turn around and I look at this show, I am so embarrassed.
Oh,
These
wow.
are people.
So tell me
These are my
what
people.
you're embarrassed by. This is good. I'm happy you were able to come up and tell me this because I'm actually going to have a panel soon where we're going to talk about some of this stuff. But go ahead. Why are you
Yeah,
embarrassed?
you
And
know,
I love that you started off saying that you had a loving relationship with your
I
husband.
sure did. I sure did. And that's what we taught our boys. And my
Okay.
one son is married for over 20 years. And
Mhm.
I'm so proud of him. And he's a real dad. And
Mhm.
he has 2 boys. And my husband instilled that in him. But to look at this show, I am so embarrassed.
Can I ask how old your son is?
My oldest son, he's 46.
46. Okay.
And
And
my youngest son is 38.
38. And how is your youngest son in a serious relationship?
He's in a serious relationship, but I only lost my husband 3 years ago, and I think my youngest son thinks that he has to protect his mom's.
Okay.
So
I understand.
he's still here, but he works and does his thing. He has a basement. He's good.
Okay.
So
So
anyway,
you're embarrassed.
right. So getting back to that, I love Mel to death because Mel is showing how a Black woman can survive what she's been through. But those haters, Letitia, I used to like Kimmy. Kimmy is changing.
Mhm.
Like, what is going? And Martell, he makes my blood pressure boil, and it's all fake. And I don't understand Carlos. Like, really?
Mm-hmm.
And everybody's coming down on this woman, but I am so happy that she is in God's arms, for real.
Mm-hmm.
Because I can't take what she's going through, and she's handling like a trooper. Okay. And tonight, this is going to be my last show. I will listen to all of your commentating. I can't waste my time on this. Letitia sounded so phony. She didn't even have her program together where she was reading it or not. You didn't even know what you was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And then Marceau is like looking like, he's agreeing with her one. Oh, he's so iffy. Oh my gosh. I can't. And if I had a husband like that, he would have been gone. Okay. And I think that Letitia is stuck in her marriage because she's been married for 17 years.
That's true.
And she don't understand love because it's never been presented to her. And I feel sorry for her. And she's a beautiful young lady, but her heart is Black. For real.
Right.
So I just came up here to say that I'm done. I can't. I've been hanging in there and hanging in there. I can't do it no more. They're not proving anything to me, and I only watched it again today because I wanted this 100th show to go on because I'm a millimeter.
Yeah.
And I just can't. I can't no more. I think this is all stupid. I think this show needs to go. I don't know what Oprah is looking at, but it's not looking at this show.
Okay. And I respect that. I respect that. I know that it has become heavy for a lot of people.
For
It's
real.
become more heavy than anything. Because the truth of the matter is, I mean, we can say that the storylines are fake, but the majority of storylines on reality TV show is fake.
Exactly.
Liked this show because we got an honest depiction of Melody and Martell's life. And that is still playing out. But everything else, every single solitary reality TV show we watch is fake. We just saw Portia and whomever, I forgot whatever the other girl's name is, go all the way over to where did they go? They were in some country.
Yeah, one of those countries.
One of the countries for 7 days to give us absolutely nothing. There was nothing happening. But we're watching a show where one broken family has decided to continue on the show and give their real story, and we don't feel that the other players on the show is matching up. Now, when the show first came on, I thought they were all interesting. I'm not gonna lie. I liked to see what was going on with Kimmy and Reese in Iowa. And I liked the dynamic of Marceau and Tisha. Even when people are mad at them, I was like, that's a real marriage, at least. Like, there are people in marriages like that who do this. It's just, it is what it is. What we're watching now is
crazy.
It's crazy. And we're all there's just a lot of toxic conversations that's happening all over. And we're seeing men in particular. That's why I wanted to hear what you had to say about your son and your husband and things like that. We're seeing men in particular, that's not the best representation
Right.
of fathers and husbands and protectors, even though these men are supposed to be the creme de la creme of men. That's what they keep selling us.
That's
That
what they're trying to sell us.
that's what they keep trying to sell us. And so when we're watching it, we're like cringing because we're like, I don't know a man like this.
Right. And this is
I
not
don't
who
know
we
anyone
are.
like this. And if I didn't know them, I wouldn't know them anymore. This couldn't, it doesn't fly. And we all have sat around and had these conversations online where we're saying exactly that Martell, what he allowed to happen, what he allowed to be said about his children. And I don't give a damn. I hate that they keep saying,
oh my gosh,
if he didn't say it on Dr. Heavenly, he didn't say it on Dr. Heavenly. All you have to do is push the play button to hear it. When it happened, he corrected it. Never was said. But the fact that he let people do it, and people that call him friend and that he calls friend, if you're a friend, you would never, ever, 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 ever let those words come out of your mouth about a child. When he came at Wanda the first time about the hair, and she said she didn't know. One of the things that let's just say that there's nothing you can do with Wanda. Let's say that Wanda is who she is.
Yeah.
You want me to believe that Wanda is who she is, then you have to apologize to me when she out of pocket. Period. You don't get to talk to me on the phone and say, I didn't hear it, so I don't know. That's never going to happen. That's never going to happen in real life. So that is the problem. But
Dyana, can I say something?
Sure.
I just want to let Miss Van know she is a real spiritual mom. I love Miss Van because she's real, okay? And you know when I fell out with Marceau, when they went to Vegas and Tisha planned that thing, I fell out with him. I don't care if you had to fake it. That was your wife trying to do something, and you would not renew your vows. That broke me up. And I have never looked at him the same since. And I really don't look at him now. You know? And I felt so bad for Tisha. I don't even know if she got it. I felt bad for her. You know, she planned the trip. All of her friends and family is there. And really, you couldn't even stand up and say nothing? You know, like, I love my wife, and if we vow if we renew our vows, that's personal. He could have even said that.
I agree.
But you say nothing.
I agree. And that's the whole point. When we've talked about this show, yeah, we've talked about the women and how crazy they are, but really it's the men.
Thank you. Yes.
It's the men on the show that have driven it into a new direction. It's the family members, the brothers of the men that's driven the show in another. It's the cousin from Detroit that it's people. It's like, what's wrong? I don't understand. And that is what I have found to be the hardest to swallow.
Right.
For me.
Yeah, and you know, Dana, I have been watching reality shows.
Island, thank you. Shy. You've been watching from the beginning.
Let me tell you something. It didn't affect me like this show is affecting me. I mean, you know, all of them did crazy stuff. I get it. But this show here, you know, I feel like I put too much into it from day one because I was so proud of what it was supposed to be.
I was proud of what it was supposed to be. And I was proud, again, just in the beginning, these people reminded me of people in my family.
Thank you.
Started coming out. Well, I said this before, when I saw Martell's mom say, I hope you get it together because ain't nobody got it like y'all.
Thank you.
Everybody's grandma say that. Like, that's why you go home. You know what I'm saying? So you can get that pep talk. That's real. That's real life. She was proud of that man. She was proud of his family. When she cried and said, you broke up my family, I could see my mama saying that to me. I could see my mama saying that to me. Those were all real moments. Those were real, honest, I relate as a Black person moment.
Mm-hmm. And then it went and left.
And then it went left. Okay.
So, you know, I mean, like I'm taking it, I can't believe myself. I'm taking this real personal. Like if Martell was one of my cousins, okay, he wouldn't be able to come into my house anymore because I'm gonna read him like real hard. And like I said, I used to love Kimmy. I don't know what happened to her. And it's
The
not
men,
even about,
the men happened to all of them.
yeah. And it's not even about her medical issue that she went through. Kimmy has did a 190 on me. Okay.
Yes.
I can't. And Carlos, as much as he say, "Oh, I love Mel," no, he don't. What he's saying he love Mel is the total opposite. How do you say to Mel, what do you say about AC? She was the whole plate or whatever. Like,
Gross.
really? Did that not hurt Mel for him to say that from somebody that calls herself loving you?
Yeah, I think we put too much into what Carlos should be doing. He's never going to do that. He's never going to do that. He's thinking he's a man first. He's a man who like men. And I think that we're expecting him to be on the women's side, and it's weird. We shouldn't be expecting that at all. We should be expecting him to be exactly who he is. He's saying exactly what all the other men on the stage is saying. When that conversation was happening, all the other men were doing the exact same thing. They were all, Martell himself, again, he should have taken offense. It's just, they don't know how to. It's not in them.
Right. And I think that he's in love with Martell. Okay. And I think that he knows that he's jealous of Melanie because she's skyrocketing quicker than he did what he needed to do in his profession. And he's hating on that. And he knows that she's going to leave that show. And when Mel leaves, well, I'm not watching anymore, but most people say when Mel leaves, I'm out. So he's not going to have a show. And nobody can take Mel's place. Definitely not, what's her name? What's the new girl that came on?
Stormy.
Definitely not Stormy.
And I see the comments, everybody saying that, all of these things about Carlos. Think about all of them, you guys. Think about Carlos King. Think about Mona Scott. Think about Andy Cohen. Think about who they are in regards to what they do with reality television. I know everybody said Carlos King is a horrible person because he did, what did he do? He stole Candy's story, right?
Yes, stole Candy. Yes.
He stole Candy's story. Mona Scott stole a whole franchise, an entire franchise from a woman, told her to show up at a meeting at this time. And when she came in, she was already had signed the paperwork and shook somebody's hand.
Wow.
It wasn't her idea. She came and took Yandy Smith. Y'all remember Yandy Smith? And she told the story.
Yandy.
She told the story. And she, even though Yandy's like, I forgive her, there's no big deal, my lawyer should have did XYZ. That was your money. That was your franchise. Right. You brought her in and she walked over you. Like, for all of that to have happened, I mean, when it first went down, everybody was yapping about it. Now it's no big deal. Season after season after season after season after season, we see Andy Cohen pretend like he has no clue what racism looks like. But every week he wants to get the mazel of the day or the week or whatever. What is the mazel about if you don't know what racism looks like? What is it about?
He needs to know what racism is like. He's Jewish.
That was my point.
Okay.
If your whole history is based
Thank you.
on this,
Yes.
and yet you don't know, it's weird to me. So that's all. And there's a lot of Black women on that show who've said exactly that. Let's see. T Talk said, Diana, did you ever realize that the show wasn't on DVR? So yeah, we talked about that a little bit. It is showing up as episode 3. So unfortunately, if you're not catching it when it's playing on the network, you're not going to catch it on the replay. So, but all of them do the exact same thing. We're kind of pushing at Carlos, but they're all the exact same person. And these people are working with, they all have their favorites. They all have certain things that they do, even though, it is what it is. Mona Scott picked up the SWV and Escape show, right?
Well, that show was not great neither.
She put that show on the air, and those ladies, literally 6 episodes, they destroyed the group. They destroyed the family.
Totally.
It's a lot.
It is.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
I felt what Andy Cohen did with those housewives, season 13, when they all went and they saw Bolo. That was one of the nastiest trash episodes I've ever seen in my life. Those women have children, they have families, and they didn't give a damn. And they thought at the very minimum, we want the camera crew to leave. They had whatever. We covered these cameras. It was disgusting.
Right. And I think
all been protesting about that.
Let me tell you something. Money to some people is more important than everything that they know about. Okay. Some people, it's about that money. I don't see money like that. Money is not that important to me that I'm going to sell my soul. I can't. But there's people that, okay, I'm going to do whatever because I'm going to get this paper, as they say. No. And then you got kids. Don't you know one day your kids is going to see this show?
That's my whole point. In regards to protecting their cast, none of them protect their cast. None of them have ever done it. So we're asking things of people who it just isn't in them to do.
Right. Right.
And those are the 3 heads.
They have the wrong characters. They have the wrong characters that will sell their soul, like I said, for that dollar. That's it. These shows don't mean anything to me if I got to sell my soul. And that's why, like I said, with this show, like I said, from the beginning, I was watching all of these housewives and stuff. Some of it was entertaining, but I never judged something like I judged this show because it just got to my heart. It got to my blood. It just
because the storyline on this show was serious from the very first episode.
Yeah,
serious for all of us from the very first episode. We really didn't get an opportunity to see them in a different light. But it is what it is at this point. But you guys, I have been on for a long time. It is midnight.
Yes, you have.
So, Miss Michelle Jones, I do appreciate you coming up.
Thank you, Miss Dana.
And I think that we had a great show today.
Sure did.
And I hope that you come back and talk with us next week, okay?
Definitely will. You have a nice evening.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
And for everyone else, all of my mods, everyone who blessed the channel tonight, everyone who just helped with the conversation over in the chat, I appreciate all of you guys. And we will do it all again next week, hopefully. But yeah, thank you all for helping out, and hit that like button on your way out if you have not already. And I will talk to you all on the next one.